Chapter 2183. Zhantian didn't want to fight, so he and King Yo-Wu were in a chase. Zhantian and King Yo-Wu were old rivals. The two of them had fought more than once. Both sides knew that Zhantian wasn't a match for King Yo-Wu in the past. Now, there was still a difference between Zhantian's 2 bodies and King Yo-Wu's 3 bodies. There were still advantages and disadvantages. In addition, Zhantian was already injured, and his combat power was reduced. He was already at a disadvantage before the fight even started. What annoyed Zhantian the most was that the reincarnation energy that Night Sorrow left in his body was still hurting him. In the Demon Wing clan, there were only 2 outstanding cultivators with the supreme attribute. Only 2 of them had cultivated the taboo attribute. One was Mo Tianji and the other was him. He cultivated the beginning attribute, which was a mid-level one. Therefore, he couldn't suppress the high-level reincarnation energy that Night Sorrow left in his body. Zhantian, this is your mistake. How long can you run? You dare to run into the celestial realm? You are courting death. King Yo-Wu was clear about Zhantian's situation. He knew that as long as he didn't give Zhantian time to recover, Zhantian would be the first to collapse. High-level cultivators had deep cultivation, and their bodies contained a lot of energy. However, flying at high speed consumed a lot of energy. In addition, after Zhantian was injured, his unstable aura couldn't be hidden from King Yo-Wu. King Yo-Wu also saw Night Sorrow's sky-drawing spear art attack, injuring Zhantian. Zhantian didn't reply. He naturally knew that this was a crisis for him. Night Sorrow's reincarnation energy was destroying his body. He had to use energy to suppress it. Under such circumstances, flying at full speed consumed more energy than King Yo-Wu. He would be the first to collapse. In addition, this was the Celestial Realm's territory. Soon, Tran Hung and the Grand Elder would join forces with King Yo-Wu to kill him. In war, personal pride and honor were secondary. Everything was for the sake of winning the war. The higher-ups of the Celestial Realm and the Demon-Winged clan all had this awareness. After thinking for a while, Zhantian knew that he only had 2 choices. One was to get rid of King Yo-Wu, find a place to recover, and then plan again. The other was to go back. Even if he had to pay a high price, he had to rush back to Infinite Wasteland and the Demon Imperial City. Only then would he be safe. Thinking of this, Zhantian had a headache. Neither of these 2 paths was easy to take. It was unrealistic for him to shake off King Yo-Wu. He and King Yo-Wu were currently flying at full speed, and their speeds were almost the same. Should he burn his essence blood? If he did that, King Yo-Wu would not hesitate either. The situation would become a battle of attrition where both sides would suffer. As for returning to Infinite Wasteland, he would have to take the Nirvana Ocean Bridge and walk through the city. Then, he would not be able to ignore the city's defensive array and would have to pay a price. If he rushed from the edge of Infinite Wasteland to the Nirvana Ocean Bridge, then he would have to bear the attack of the Nirvana Tide. On the Nirvana Ocean, the energy of heaven and earth and the Nirvana Ocean would fuse together, and the resulting damage would be terrifying. He would also have to pay a price. While thinking, Zhantian also knew that he did not have much time left. Tran Hung and the Grand Elder were most likely already on their way to intercept him. After thinking for a while, Zhantian felt that it was not safe to stay in the Celestial Realm. The best way was to return to the Demon Imperial City. He could not give the 100 races of the Celestial Realm the chance to surround and kill him. Looking up, Zhantian realized that he was in an inland ocean. At this moment, a soul crystal on Night Sorrow's body cracked, and King Yo-Wu's soul incarnation appeared. Night Sorrow, that Zhantian ran to Star Moon Lake and will arrive at Star Moon City soon. Get someone to activate the defensive array. Uncle is worried that he is going for Star Moon City, King Yo-Wu said to Night Sorrow. After speaking, King Yo-Wu's soul incarnation dissipated. Night Sorrow's face turned cold. He did not expect King Yo-Wu and Zhantian to run so fast. His soul incarnation entered the teleportation array and started the teleportation. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow's 9-domain doppelganger found Mo Tianji. What do I need to do? Mo Tianji walked out of the Origin Enlightened Treasure Pavilion. I will make it short. Mo Zhantian is now fighting with King Youwu. You do not need to care about this. However, the gateway to our 9-domain world cannot be broken. Star Moon City is the gateway to the 9-domain world. You need to help me guard it, Night Sorrow explained the situation to Mo Tianji. I know that Star Moon City is the gateway to the 9-domain world. Protecting the 9-domain world is also my responsibility. However, I did not expect to face something so soon. I will go now. Mo Tianji let out a sigh. She knew that Night Sorrow's request was reasonable. Even if he did not ask for it, she knew that she would have to do something. I know that you are in a difficult position. You just need to protect Star Moon City from being attacked. That way you will feel better. Night Sorrow nodded. AI more RK new, most /s fast. Mo Tianji nodded and entered the teleportation array. At this moment, Mo Zhantian and King Youwu were still chasing after each other. They were getting closer and closer to Star Moon City. The 9-domain world and the celestial realm were very close. The teleportation array was also very fast. When Mo Tianji arrived at Star Moon City, she activated the defensive array and stood in the air above the city. At this moment, Mo Tianji was a little emotional. The world was unpredictable. During this period of time, she had schemed to enter the 9-domain world. Now, she was fighting for the 9-domain world. She was already a part of the 9-domain world. Mo Zhantian, who was flying, naturally sensed Mo Tianji above Star Moon City. His heart was in turmoil. Mo Tianji. Although Mo Tianji's appearance had changed, her soul aura was still there. Tianji! Mo Zhantian shouted. Mo Zhantian, I don't want to fight with you. Retreat. Leave Star Moon City and I will pretend that you were never here. Mo Tianji's eyes were calm. When she saw the members of the demon-winged clan, she was emotional. However, her determination did not waver. What? Mo Zhantian was stunned. He did not expect Mo Tianji to say something like this. Moreover, she said it while being emotionally stable. I don't care about the war between the demon-winged clan and the celestial realm. This is Star Moon City. No matter who it is, as long as they dare to attack Star Moon City, I will kill them. Mo Tianji saw that Mo Zhantian was still charging in a straight line. She extended the long sword in her left hand to her chest. She was ready to attack at any time. Mo Zhantian was confused when he saw Mo Tianji's shining longsword. However, he knew that Mo Tianji was already filled with battle intent and killing intent. If he continued to charge forward, he would be met with an attack. Mo Zhantian could also feel the danger. Mo Tianji's cultivation level was not as high as his, but her combat ability was strong. She could hurt him. Mo Zhantian controlled his body and drew an arc. He went around Star Moon City. He did not dare to challenge Mo Tianji's words. Tianji, why? Mo Zhantian asked loudly. Chapter 2184. Mo Tianji didn't even look at the battle between King Youwu and Mo Zhantian because she didn't care. She didn't care who had the upper hand. It wouldn't affect her life. In her opinion, the 9-domain world was unbreakable. Whether Night Sorrow could survive the God-destroying tribulation or not, the 9-domain world would be stable in this era. She could live a stable life. Mo Tianji's state of mind was peaceful, but Mo Zhantian couldn't. Even though he had lived for more than 9 eras and had a rock-solid state of mind, he couldn't. Mo Tianji's sudden appearance had a huge impact on him. When Mo Tianji's statue in the Demon Imperial City's sacrificial tower broke, Mo Zhantian and Mo Yutian determined that Mo Tianji had died. But now, Mo Tianji appeared with the cultivation of the tribulation of 9 emperors. Most importantly, Mo Tianji's aura was very stable. It was completely different from when she was severely injured. In addition, Mo Zhantian discovered that Mo Tianji's life origin was complete, but it was no longer the origin of Heaven Wasteland domain. Thinking of this, Mo Zhantian understood Mo Tianji's words. Mo Tianji's life origin had changed. If she was reborn, then something big must have happened. Mo Tianji had severed her karma with the past. Thinking of this, Mo Zhantian felt helpless. Mo Tianji had done enough for Moe. To reach this point, it was his and Mo Yutian's fault. King Youwu, you guys are despicable. Emo Jiantian cursed angrily. He was very angry now. What do you know? You call us despicable? You're not 1 or 2 years old. Don't you know to speak the truth? What makes you think you can jump to conclusions? King Yo Wu snorted at Emo Jiantian's words. If it weren't for your despicable methods, would Emo Tianji have become like this? Emo Jiantian roared. What a joke! This is a war between races. It's a war to the death. What's wrong with using some methods? Didn't you also arrange spies? But you didn't do it properly. King Yo Wu retorted. After King Yo Wu said this, Emo Jiantian didn't say anything. He couldn't refute King Yo Wu's words. The chase continued. At this moment, not only was Emo Jiantian's body injured, his spirit had also suffered a severe blow. However, Emo Jiantian's willpower was firm. At this moment, he was still flying at full speed. His route was the route back to the Tianhuang city. Emo Jiantian had already made up his mind. He wanted to go back and reorganize the battle. King Yo Wu continued his pursuit. He wasn't in a hurry because Emo Jiantian wouldn't be able to escape. He had already considered both of Emo Jiantian's escape routes. He wasn't afraid of either one. After returning to Star Moon City, Emo Tianji handed a soul crystal to Qing Emperor. If this place is attacked, crush it. I will rush over immediately. Qing Emperor nodded. He didn't know who Emo Tianji was, but he knew that she was an incredible expert. Seeing Emo Tianji return to the 9-domain world, Night Sorrow's 9-domain clone handed Emo Tianji a jar of wine. You don't have to worry. It's nothing. Some things have to be faced sooner or later. It's just that it's a little early. I'm fine. Emo Tianji looked at Night Sorrow and said, Who can be heartless? I can understand your feelings. Night Sorrow shook his head. He could understand Emo Tianji's feelings. I left a soul crystal for your master, Qing Emperor. You don't have to worry about Star Moon City. After Emo Jiantian understands my intentions and attitude, he won't come to Star Moon City to seek trouble. Emo Tianji said, Then you go and rest. The future is beautiful and it's also our own. I will support you in whatever way you want to live. For example, if you want to get married, I will give you the grandest wedding. It won't be any worse than my sister's wedding. Night Sorrow said with a smile. When you talk nonsense, you don't look like a realm lord at all. I know you are busy. Go. Let's drink tea together when you have time. Emo Tianji said and entered the Origin Enlightened Treasure Pavilion. It's not easy. It's been hard on her. Night Sorrow turned his head and looked at Tai Shu Yen who was walking to his side. After sighing, he also entered the heaven-sealing Great Hall. At this time, Night Sorrow's battle clone also arrived at Star Moon City. After checking, he was relieved that Star Moon City wasn't attacked. As for the battle between King Yo Wu and Emo Jiantian, he couldn't participate. This was because his cultivation was too low. He couldn't keep up with the speed and rhythm. Emo Jiantian felt that his situation wasn't good. While flying at full speed, he couldn't suppress the reincarnation energy that Night Sorrow had injected into his body. He had already consumed 30% of his energy, while King Yo Wu had only consumed less than 20%. In order to prevent his route from being calculated, Emo Jiantian kept changing his flight path. However, his final destination was Heaven Desolate City. Tran Hung and King Yo Wu would occasionally use the Soul Crystal imprint to contact each other. However, Emo Jiantian kept changing his flight path. Tran Hung's interception also became a hindrance to him. As time passed, Emo Jiantian was getting closer and closer to Heaven Desolate City. Emo Jiantian knew that the next obstacle was here. If he could break through Heaven Desolate City, he would be fine. If he couldn't, then the problem would be big. Emo Tianji had made a mistake, which led to many mistakes. King Yo Wu didn't know Tran Hung's location. The last location that she had informed him was far from their current location. That was also the last soul crystal that he had left with Tran Hung. He had no choice but to contact the Grand Guardian of Divine Capital, Shiryu. Night Sorrow stayed at the top of Heaven Desolate Tower. He used his soul force to search for loopholes in the formation. At this time, Shiryu arrived at Heaven Desolate City and found Night Sorrow. Young City Lord, the City Lord has contacted me. He asked me to inform you that Emo Jiantian's destination is Heaven Desolate City. He wants you to see if you can contact the city lord and the Grand Elder. Uncle Shiryu, please help me run to Reincarnation Island and inform the Grand Elder. I can't contact them now, Night Sorrow said. Shiryu bowed and left. He knew that this was a big matter. It was a big matter for the 100 races of the celestial realm. Night Sorrow rang the bronze bell on the martial arts field and gave the order to prepare for battle. If Emo Zhantien wanted to return to Heaven Desolate and Devil Imperial City, he had to pass through the Nirvana Ocean Bridge. After the bronze bell was rung, the leaders of the various divine beast races came to Heaven Desolate Tower. The bronze bell was a battle order. Young City Lord, what's the situation now? Huangling asked. Emo Zhantien is being chased by my martial uncle and has nowhere to run. He might be charging towards Heaven Desolate now. If he wants to return to Devil Imperial City, we have to stop him, Night Sorrow said. That bastard, he still dares to come back? Night Sorrow, give the order. Let's see what's the best way to fight, Heavenly Astral Monarch said. Forever Winky Face. Long Free E Look at L Little Y says. Chapter 2185. After hearing Night Sorrow's order, the Golden Dragon King and the others left and went to the 4 walls of the city to defend. Emo Zhantian's speed was very fast. If they couldn't intercept him in time, he would rush out of the city. Night Sorrow knew about Emo Zhantien and King Yowu's speed. It would take a long time to travel from the Heavenly Desolate City to the Ethereal Dynasty's territory. King Yowu and Emo Zhantien had flown back and forth in more than a day. Therefore, Night Sorrow knew that he couldn't be careless at all. If he was careless, Emo Zhantien would escape. Night Sorrow's battle clone teleported towards the Heavenly Desolate City. The Star Moon City was safe, and the unstable area was the Heavenly Desolate City. When the Heavenly Desolate City appeared in the range of his soul power, the corner of Emo Zhantien's eyes twitched. He realized that the atmosphere above the city had changed. It was filled with a murderous aura. It was much more intense than when he first arrived, giving him a strong sense of crisis. Well done. King Yowu praised. Since Emo Zhantien could detect the situation in the Heavenly Desolate City, it was naturally within the range of King Yowu's detection. King Yowu also knew that Tran Hung and the Grand Elder were not in the city. The changes in the Heavenly Desolate City's formation were naturally caused by Night Sorrow. On the contrary, King Yowu was excited. Emo Zhantien was in a dilemma. It would be difficult for him to pass through the Heavenly Desolate City because the formation could slow down his speed. The attacks could also threaten his life. When he first arrived, the formation's energy fluctuation was only half of what it was now. It was enough to injure him. Now that the formation's power had doubled, it wouldn't be a problem to severely injure him. At this time, even the slightest unfavorable factor could bring about unpredictable consequences. Night Sorrow, who was standing on the Heavenly Desolate Tower, also thought of this problem. Emo Zhantien wouldn't enter the city after seeing the changes in the Heavenly Desolate City's formation. It was most likely that he would go outside the influence of the formation. With the help of the Heavenly Desolate City's formation, Night Sorrow rose into the sky and flew towards the World Suppression Gate of the Heavenly Desolate City. The Heavenly Desolate City was located on the Nirvana Ocean Bridge. There were only 2 big city gates. One was the World Suppression City Gate facing the Celestial Realm, and the other one was Nirvana City Gate facing the World Suppression Gate. Yi Shang was going to intercept them at the city gates. As for the guards inside the city, his avatar was on the way. He was racing against time. Emo Zhantien's clone's sword's heart. At this moment, Emo Zhantien was still in the form of the heart sword. It was a long sword that shone brightly between heaven and earth, piercing through space as it flew. Its flames clones Zhantien to the Heavenly Desolate cities to the heavens. Clear Sky Pagoda's protection. Night Sorrow activated the Clear Sky Pagoda and merged it with his body. He had to intercept Emo Zhantien even if he was seriously injured. Night Sorrow didn't think that would happen. His body was strong and full of Taoist rhymes. It wasn't something that could be destroyed in a few moves. As for soul attacks, Night Sorrow wasn't afraid. He had the 9 domain origin beads in his spirit sea. Not every attack could break through it. He extended his right arm and pointed the samsara halberd at the sky while gathering energy. The heavenly desolate city was not near the heavenly desolate tower. Although the heavenly desolate city's defense was strong, its attack power was somewhat lacking. After detecting Night Sorrow's figure, Emojantin had the urge to eat Night Sorrow. The Devil Wing clan was passive, and he was passive. Everything was because of Night Sorrow's appearance. Emo Tianji was now willing to go against him for Xingyue City because of Night Sorrow. Suppress. Night Sorrow's samsara halberd pressed down. The energy in the sky descended and bound towards Emojantin. Break! Emojantin roared. The heart sword collided with the energy controlled by Night Sorrow. During the collision, a grain of gravel flew out. That was one of Emojantin's spatial treasures. Inside it were the younger generation of the Devil Wing clan. Emojantin knew that his plan had failed. He couldn't establish himself in the celestial realm. However, he still wanted to leave behind a spark. He wanted to leave his men in the celestial realm. King Yowu and Night Sorrow didn't notice this. After the collision, it was normal for the gravel on the Nirvana Ocean Bridge to fly. Emojantin's Divine Soul Unity Realm attack power was too tyrannical. Night Sorrow's spatial fetters suppression was directly broken. Emojantin's speed didn't decrease as he continued flying. Sky-pulling spear art. Night Sorrow naturally wouldn't let Emojantin fly at such a high speed. He used his ultimate move again. Outside the Heavenly Desolate City, the power of the defense array of the Heavenly Desolate City under Yi Shang's control was reduced. The sky-drawing spear technique this time was only half as powerful as last time. However, the sky-pulling spear art in such a state was already very terrifying. Countless spear lights pierced towards Emojantin's heart sword. Spatial cracks had already formed. Blood essence burn. At the crucial moment, Emojantin burned his blood essence to increase his speed and defense. Following the explosion, Emojantin's heart sword was hit by the sky-pulling spear light controlled by Night Sorrow. The long sword trembled and Emojantin groaned. Emojantin was once again injured by the sky-pulling spear art. Under this situation, Emojantin also knew that he couldn't enter the Heaven Desolate City. He wasn't in the Heaven Desolate City and wasn't within the range of the Heaven Desolate Pagoda. Night Sorrow's control of the array had already reached such a level. If he entered the city, the situation would be even worse. After burning his blood essence, Emojantin controlled the heart sword that was transformed from his body. He drew an arc and flew away from the city gate and the city wall. He wanted to prevent Night Sorrow from attacking him with the energy of the Heaven Desolate Pagoda. At this moment, King Yowu was also burning his blood essence to chase after Emojantin. This was also a crucial moment. He couldn't let Emojantin go back after taking a stroll in the celestial realm. Within the array, Night Sorrow had a great advantage. He flew along the city wall and kept up with Emojantin's speed. However, he didn't have much control over the Heaven Desolate City's array. Emojantin burned his blood essence to increase his speed and defense. He endured the impact of the Nirvana storm as he flew. Emojantin knew that flying in the Nirvana storm consumed a lot of his energy. It was the same for King Yowu. The terrain didn't help either of them. Night Sorrow was also in a dilemma. Under such circumstances, he couldn't help King Yowu. The Heaven Desolate City's offensive array had lost its effect. However, Night Sorrow and Emojantin had different thoughts. After taking a deep breath, Night Sorrow controlled the energy of the Heaven Desolate City's array to stir up the Nirvana storm. What he did would cause the same amount of damage to Emojantin and King Yowu. However, Night Sorrow knew that it was the right thing to do because Tran Hung and the Grand Elder would rush back. The Heaven Desolate City had fresh troops. He only needed to suppress Emojantin's speed. Although King Yowu was under pressure, he knew that Night Sorrow's thought process was correct. At this moment, he needed to exhaust Emojantin. He had to make sure that Emojantin couldn't bear it and couldn't increase his speed. Now, he could control the burning of his blood essence. "You bunch of despicable people!" Emojantin cursed. He knew better than anyone that the situation was critical. "I want to fight you fair and square. Do you want to fight me? If you do, I'll give you a chance." King Yowu replied to Emojantin. Chapter 2186. Emo Zhantian wanted to curse. How could he fight now? Normally, he was not a match for King Yowu. Now, it was even more impossible. Fighting one-on-one would be courting death. No one said anything. King Yowu's words had shut Emo Zhantian's mouth. He could not refute. If you don't dare to fight one-on-one, then what else is there to say? Emo Zhantian didn't reply, he just kept running. Yi Shang was controlling the energy of the formation of Tianhuang City to stir up the storm, but he was still fast. He was trying to save his own life. If he didn't hurry, he would be in danger of dying. At this moment, the distance between him and King Yowu was gradually closing. King Yowu was stronger than him, so he could burn his essence blood faster than Emo Zhantian without damaging his life foundation. Emo Zhantian gritted his teeth and increased the intensity of his blood essence burning. He had to return to Infinite Wasteland, to the Demon Imperial City. Emo Zhantian accelerated again. King Yowu's expression changed. If he increased the intensity of his blood essence burning, it would damage his life foundation. Emo Zhantian, you dare to burn your blood essence without caring about the consequences. Then I, King Yowu, am not afraid of you. Come. King Yowu's body suddenly accelerated. The protective energy flame was filled with blood light. He was also burning his blood essence without caring about the consequences. Super Chapito. Night Sorrow was furious. He naturally knew what was going on. Both Emo Zhantian and King Yowu were burning their blood essence without caring about the consequences. This would have a great impact on the future. It would affect the chances of passing the God-destroying tribulation. Night Sorrow was furious. The Haotian pagoda left his body and floated in the air. He then gathered the energy of heaven and earth and blasted it towards Emo Zhantian. It was not a simple attack. It was an attack that attracted the energy of heaven and earth using the heaven attraction spell. Night Sorrow, you deserve to die. Sky Demon Sword Chi. Emo Zhantian roared. Then, countless sword chi burst out from his body. The sword chi was divided into two parts. One part blasted towards the Haotian pagoda while the other part blasted towards Night Sorrow. Space-Time Realm, Reincarnation True Dragon Spell. Night Sorrow executed his ultimate defensive technique, Space-Time Realm, and shuttled through the alternate space, dodging Emo Zhantian's ultimate technique, Sky Demon Sword Chi. Next, he brandished his Samsara halberd and executed the true reincarnation dragon art. Because there was no nirvana storm on the walls of Heavenly Wasteland, coupled with the high energy affinity within the array formation, Night Sorrow had been running in front of Emo Zhantian to disrupt him. Now, he was facing him head-on. Go to hell. Emo Zhan's Heavenly Heart Sword disintegrated as he attacked Night Sorrow's Heavenly Samsara halberd. Bang! With a muffled sound, Yi Shang was sent flying. Emo Zhantian's soul and soul as one cultivation base coupled with the burning of his blood essence made his attack power far surpass his imagination. A single sword strike was enough to send Yi Shang flying and injure him. Yi Shang's arm muscles, veins, and internal organs were all severely impacted. However, Emo Zhantian, who had clashed head-on with Night Sorrow, didn't have it easy either. Night Sorrow's Samsara energy was tyrannical. In addition to the Samsara halberd's destruction attribute, the tip of Emo Zhantian's longsword was blasted into powder. This caused him to spit out a mouthful of blood. His longsword was his life weapon. There was no time to chase after Night Sorrow. Emo Zhantian continued to fly at high speed. He had paused for a moment, and King Yowu had closed the distance between them. Now, King Yowu was already in attack range. King Yowu's spear light was flying towards him. Night Sorrow was sent flying by the attack, and he retreated to the top of the Tianhuang city's walls. Then he sped up again, and after overtaking Emo Zhantian, he pounced on Emo Zhantian. Night Sorrow wanted to suppress Emo Zhantian's speed with all his strength. After being sent flying again, Night Sorrow spat out 2 mouthfuls of blood. His robe and right arm were covered in blood. His right arm's flesh and bones were all shattered. However, because of Night Sorrow's 2 interceptions, Emo Zhantian's speed had decreased. King Yowu had caught up with him, and the two began to fight while flying. Night Sorrow, how are you? Huang Ling and Wu Lingfei appeared. Wu Lingfei reached out to support Night Sorrow. Aunt Fei is here. I'm fine. It's just some minor injuries. Night Sorrow shook his head and continued flying, maintaining a distance from the battle. At this moment, there was nothing he could do. Zhantian controlled the battle to distance himself from the Tianhuang city's walls in order to prevent others from interfering. While resisting King Yowu's attacks, he continued flying forward. The Nirvana Ocean outside the Tianhuang city was tumbling with energy. It was a battle between two tribulation of 9 emperors, and both of them had reached the level of soul unification. The spectators on the city walls could not join the battle, including the leaders of the divine beasts. They were all mid-level tribulation emperors, and they did not have any forbidden element. Entering the Nirvana storm was just asking for trouble. A group of spectators also moved with the battle. In the battle, King Yowu kept causing damage to Zhantian, but he could not control Zhantian's movements. Zhantian's main purpose was to retreat, whether attacking or defending. King Yowu could not do anything about it. Every time they exchanged a blow, Zhantian would run away. If he did not use his strength, he could not cause any damage. If this continues, it will be difficult to kill him. Wu Lingfei, who was standing beside Night Sorrow, said, "A high-level tribulation emperor cultivator's body and soul have reached a level that ordinary cultivators cannot understand. Under normal circumstances, it is impossible to kill him," Huang Ling said to her daughter. Night Sorrow was also anxious because if Tran Hong and the Grand Elder did not come back, Zhantian would rush out of the Tianhuang city. The battle was moving, and they were about to reach the Nirvana Ocean Bridge. Once they reached the bridge, the Nirvana storm would be weaker, and King Yowu and Zhantian's battle group would move faster. "King Yowu, you want to kill me? You are not qualified." Zhantian was furious. He was a peerless expert, and he had never been so embarrassed in front of others. "Let's not talk about whether I can kill you or not. I can make you lose half of your life." King Yowu used his divine spear to attack Zhantian. "So what if you hurt me? You also burned your blood essence. Do you still think you can pass the god-destroying tribulation?" Zhantian's face was filled with ruthlessness. He had originally wanted King Yowu to make a difficult choice, whether he would hurt himself just to attack him. However, he had underestimated King Yowu's determination to fight for the 100 clans of the heaven world. King Yowu had already put his personal matters aside. "Zhantian, you think too much. Uncle, I have the heavenly Tao flower. You just need to control the extent of your injuries." Night Sorrow shouted. "Ha, Zhantian, did you hear that? This is fate. I, King Yowu, am blessed by the heavenly Tao. You should think about yourself." King Yowu laughed after hearing Night Sorrow's words. What was the heavenly Tao flower? It was the best treasure to heal the body. It was a treasure of the heavenly Tao that appeared when the world was first formed. King Yowu knew what the heavenly Tao flower represented, and so did Zhantian. His expression changed immediately. The existence of the heavenly Tao flower made him and King Yowu not on the same line. King Yowu's confidence was not something he could compare with. Night Sorrow, remember this. Don't give us, the Demon Wings clan, a chance. As long as there is a chance, we will tear you into pieces. King Yowu, today's humiliation will be paid back in double. Zhantian turned his head and looked at Night Sorrow, who was above the heavenly desolate city, and shouted. Chapter 2187. So what if I know you're here? Heavenly Demon Thousand Illusion Body, Soul Sacrifice. Zhantian roared, and a milky white light appeared on his body. Then his body shook, and thousands of figures appeared. They were all extremely fast. They landed on the Nirvana Ocean Bridge and rushed towards Tianhuang. King Yowu landed on the Nirvana Ocean Bridge, but neither he nor the Grand Elder pursued him. I didn't expect that guy to run away even after using all kinds of methods. King Yowu sighed. Night Sorrow did not say anything. He knew that there must be a reason why King Yowu and the Grand Elder did not pursue him. Seeing that the Divine Beasts clan and the other elders were confused, the Grand Elder explained the situation. Heavenly Demon Thousand Illusion Body was a unique technique of the Demon Wing clan. It could be used by Emperor Tribulation cultivators, but it would consume their blood and chi. As for soul sacrifice, It was a forbidden technique in the Demon Wing clan. There were two kinds of soul sacrifice. The first kind was performed by ordinary experts of the Demon Wing clan, who burned their soul to increase their combat strength. The second kind was performed by experts of the Demon Wing clan who had a certain level of attainment and could collect the power of faith. What Emojantien performed was the soul sacrifice that burned the power of faith. It's a pity that we couldn't kill him. Sigh. The Golden Dragon King said somewhat helplessly. Even Knight Sorrow had contributed a lot in this battle. As a senior, there were some things that he couldn't do, so he wasn't very interested. The effect this time is already very good. Emojantien's body and soul were both injured. He won't be able to do anything in a short period of time. Even if he recovers, his strength will not increase, King Yowu said. Uncle, here are 2 petals of the Heavenly Path flower. If it's not enough, I have a few more. Knight Sorrow took out a jade bottle and handed the 2 petals to King Yowu. Very well, I won't stand on ceremony. With these 2 petals of the Heavenly Path flower, you won't be injured this time. Only Emojantien is unlucky. King Yowu took the flower and said. Knight Sorrow thought for a moment and said, there are some things that I didn't think of. If we didn't activate the formation of the Heavenly Desolate City first and activated it after he rushed in, he might not be able to escape. Young City Lord, you think too much. You've changed the formation of the Heavenly Desolate City and increased its power. Young City Lord, if you don't change the array won't be able to trap him even if he rushes in. Besides, Emojantien knows how strong the defense of the Tianhuang city is, so he doesn't dare to attack easily. It's really shocking, Huang Ling said. As a senior, she really didn't want to see Knight Sorrow under too much pressure. As they chatted, they returned to the hall on the first floor of the Heaven Wasteland Tower, which was also the City Lord's residence. Knight Sorrow, I'll return to Reincarnation Island first. The Demon-Winged clan didn't succeed in Tianhuang City. I hope they don't have any other plans on Reincarnation Island. Although the possibility is low, we still have to be careful for a while. The Grand Elder said. He said to wait for a while because the energy fluctuations caused by the appearance of Reincarnation Island had completely calmed down. At that time, the Demon-Winged clan wouldn't be able to land on the island even if they wanted to. Grand Elder, don't worry. I'll do my best for Tianhuang City. Knight Sorrow nodded to the Grand Elder. Pu Luo, did you search the body of Celestial Cliffs carefully? Did you find a second spatial treasure? After sending off the Grand Elder, Knight Sorrow sat down again and asked Pu Luo. His body was destroyed by the Dao fire, and everything turned into ashes. There shouldn't be any flaws. However, could Emojantien have left some hidden tricks behind after running around? Pu Luo asked another question after explaining the situation of Celestial Cliffs. Uncle Master has been following him, so there shouldn't be a big problem. However, no one can prevent him from throwing out a spatial treasure during a battle, Knight Sorrow said. Yes, the distance between us was relatively large at the beginning. That guy didn't give me a chance to get close to him. We ran around and only fought when we reached Tianhuang City. King Yowu nodded. It's the last era. The cultivators of the 100 clans of the Celestial Realm need something to do. They also need to have a sense of crisis. Strictly investigate the foreign races and prepare for war. Those who make contributions will be given priority to enter the new Supreme World, Knight Sorrow said to the elders of the Council of Elders. The elders of the Council of Elders and the clan leaders of the Divine Beast clan nodded. They had seen Knight Sorrow's vigor and strength from this incident. If they weren't high-level Emperor Tribulation cultivators, they wouldn't have dared to fight Emojantien on the Nirvana Ocean. Yowu, are you okay? You don't look too good. Tran Hung entered the hall. Knight Sorrow and the others stood up and greeted him. Tran Hung sat down and apologized for not arriving in time. After listening to King Yowu, Tran Hung nodded. Emojantien's soul sacrifice burned the power of faith. Although it didn't cause any damage to his soul, it was equivalent to destroying his foundation. In the Demon-Winged clan, the power of faith is as important as the power of merit. We still need to strengthen the transmission of information, King Yowu said. Find someone trustworthy to form a team. The original body and the doppelganger will be stationed in the important places of the 100 clans of the celestial realm. This way, the transmission of information will be more convenient. After listening to King Yo-woo, Knight Sorrow had an idea. City Lord, King Yo-woo, and young City Lord don't need to worry about this. I will arrange it. Qin Qianjie took the initiative to accept the task. Thank you, Elder Qin. Golden Dragon King, Blood Kirin King, King Ling, Brother Green Rock, you all should stay in Tianhuang City for the time being. Everyone needs to do something during these special times. Knight Sorrow can take charge alone, but he also needs the support of everyone and the other clans. Tran Hung looked at the several Divine Beast clan leaders and said, Golden Dragon King and the others nodded. They also understood that these were special times. They couldn't be as lazy as before. Ancestor Green Rock stood up and bowed to everyone. This matter was caused by the unfilial descendants of the Green Rock clan. I apologize to everyone here. Brother Green Rock, you don't need to do this. We can sit here because we have the 100 clans of the celestial realm in our hearts. It's normal for a black sheep to appear. Just do your best to avoid it. Tran Hung shook his head at Ancestor Green Rock. Ancestor Green Rock cupped his hands to everyone again before sitting down. Yo-woo, you should go back to Yawa Mountain to heal. It's important to stay in peak condition. Also, I have good news. I have been working hard to clean up the outer realms around the celestial realm. Everyone knows this. Some time ago, I made a discovery. It was a big discovery. I found the Hong Meng tree recorded in the ancient records. Tran Hung said. After Tran Hung finished speaking, no one understood. TB Starter Plus, it's not strange that you don't understand. You should know Yo-woo, right? Tran Hung looked at King Yo-woo beside him. City Lord, are you talking about the Hong Meng tree known as the World Tree? King Yo-woo's eyes were full of shock. Chapter 2188. I don't quite understand what you mean, City Lord, the Heavenly Astral King said. The World Tree contains pure world origin. It should be said that she can absorb the energy in the void turbulence and transform it into world origin power. The World Tree I found was not formed for a long time and could not produce enough world origin power for the celestial realm. However, after the celestial realm enters the secondary supreme world, it will only be destroyed after thousands of reincarnations. This time is enough for the World Tree to grow. When the World Tree grows, it will have no problem maintaining the celestial realm from destruction. The problem is that I can't get close to her, so I want to see if anyone has any good ideas. Tran Hung pointed out the key problem. Can't get close to her? King Yo-woo looked at Tran Hung in confusion. Tran Hung nodded and explained the key problem he encountered. The World Tree was very defensive. When outsiders approached, she controlled the world origin power to continuously create spatial worlds. No matter how hard Tran Hung tried to attack, he was outside the layers of worlds. He could not break it by force, as that would hurt the World Tree. In addition, he did not know if he could succeed. The spiritual intelligence of the World Tree is very strong, King Yo-woo said. It is similar to other creatures. If it is in its infancy, then its spiritual intelligence is not very high. It is very cautious, so it will not let other creatures get close to it. The World Tree has just been formed, and it has the temperament of a child. If we want to make use of it, we have two choices. One is to let a cultivator with high merit go, and the other is to let a cultivator with high spirituality approach it. We will start from both the merit and the spirituality, Tran Hung said. Although the celestial realm will be destroyed after thousands of reincarnations, and it will be a long time, we are predecessors. No matter what, we have to accumulate something for the future generations. I will not be stingy with anything you need from me, Knight Sorrow said. That's enough. We'll think of a way to find a few more candidates with sufficient spirituality. When the time comes, we'll go together. Who will be in charge of the selection? Chen Huang looked at the group of people in the hall and asked. After pondering for a moment, Huang Ling stood up. I'll handle this matter. Our clan's Yunling bead can be used to identify cultivators with high spirituality. Okay, the direction is for women. Women are born with a strong maternal instinct, so they have an advantage over men. Then this matter is settled. Everyone do what you need to do. Tran Hung announced the end of the meeting. After Night Sorrow returned to the mansion, Tran Hung woke up not long after. Have a seat, Castellan. Night Sorrow invited Tran Hung to sit down and then made a pot of tea. Tran Hung looked at Night Sorrow's blood-stained battle robe and asked, "You don't have to be so courteous. Are your injuries okay?" "I'm fine. I'll enter the space treasure later and speed up the healing process." Night Sorrow looked at his torn robe and said, "That's great. This is a great victory. The real master of the Demon Wing clan is the three great heavens, followed by the 100 Kings tribe's chief. The problem of Mo Tianji has been solved. Mo Zhantian has been seriously injured. The only one left is Mo Yutian. He probably won't be able to do much in a short time. You should focus on your cultivation. Also, Tianhuang City still needs you to take charge," Tran Hung said. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation, I will. Don't worry, Castellan. Night Sorrow nodded. There are still some things that I haven't told others, mainly because I'm afraid of causing a commotion. I only told your martial uncle. This time I went out, I made a big discovery and also solved a mystery in my heart. In fact, this is also the reason why I've been traveling outside the celestial realm and exploring the outer realms. In our knowledge of history, the Heaven Wasteland domain is the furthest we know of. But what about before the Heaven Wasteland domain? Before the Heaven Wasteland domain, there were still supreme worlds. After the supreme worlds were destroyed, did everything turn into nothingness? I've always thought that wasn't the case. Tran Hung slowly told Night Sorrow some of his thoughts. Tran Hung had seen the destruction of a world. After the destruction of a world, it would become a small space that would drift along with the energy of the void. According to this theory, after the destruction of the supreme worlds in the past, some ancient worlds would also be formed, and there would be traces of predecessors. The 100 races of the celestial realm existed for 1,000 cycles, and there were 1,000 cycles of history and civilization. However, this civilization was not enough to support the passage of the God-destroying tribulation. Therefore, Tran Hung had always planned to search for the remains of predecessors and combine the current 100 races to find a way to pass the God-destroying tribulation. 2 eras ago, Tran Hung had begun to find ancient remains. The Great Prophecy technique was obtained from the ancient remains, which also proved that his thoughts were correct. Those spatial worlds should be called ancient worlds. Their civilizations are ancient and complex, and they are not easy to find. The area where the world tree is may be the entrance to the ancient worlds. Tran Hung threw out a piece of information that made Night Sorrow dumbfounded. Night Sorrow was a little stunned. He needed some time to digest this information. The Great Prophecy technique is the proof of the existence of ancient civilizations. It is a different cultivation system. If we can obtain other cultivation civilizations in addition to our own cultivation civilization of 1,000 cycles, then it will be much easier for the cultivators of the 100 races of the celestial realm to rise. It will also increase our chances of passing the God-destroying tribulation, Tran Hung said. So you're saying that our first task is to deal with the world tree and enter the world gate? Night Sorrow asked. It's not that easy. The world tree is called the Hong Meng tree. It is a spiritual object that was created at the beginning of the world. It is extremely difficult for us to get close to it and avoid its seal. Tran Hung took a sip of tea and shook his head at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow did not speak. He did not have the right to speak if he did not understand. The ancient world also has cultivators. The Great Prophecy technique was obtained after I won a battle with the ancient world's cultivators. Any ancient world that has not been truly destroyed has strong cultivators. Their cultivation civilization has a long history, and the chances of them producing strong cultivators are very high. The ancient world that I went to, their cultivation civilization was called technique. They analyzed and dissected energy, then combined it to form a tyrannical fighting force. Look, this is the yin-yang limitless technique. Tran Hung waved his hand and released an extremely powerful energy blade into the air. Night Sorrow stood up in surprise. The energy on Tran Hung's body did not fluctuate. This extremely powerful yin-yang limitless technique was created out of thin air. This is the yin-yang limitless technique that I analyzed based on the inheritance of the Great Prophecy technique. It is also called the Great Ultimate Technique, Tran Hung said. Isn't this too scary? Knight Sorrow muttered as he watched the limitless blade fly into the air. The rise of a civilization is accompanied by the fall of a civilization. This is not because the civilization is weak, but because all kinds of natural and man-made disasters cause the inheritance to be broken. I have been trying to find other inheritances for the past 2 eras. This time, outside the world tree, I met a pure martial cultivator. Their cultivation inheritance should be similar to your myriad Tao Bible, Tran Hung said. Chapter 2189. Yes, there's always someone better. Heaven Wasteland, the Celestial Realm, and the 9-Domain World. These 3 supreme worlds are close to each other, so there are conflicts and wars. In the past, the races of the supreme worlds did not discover our existence. If they did, both the Heaven Wasteland domain and the Celestial Realm would be in great danger. Everyone wants to control the supreme worlds, Tran Hung said. City Lord, please wait for a moment. Let me organize my thoughts. Knight Sorrow stood up and paced back and forth in thought. After thinking for a while, Knight Sorrow realized that the existence of the ancient world was both an opportunity and a crisis for the races of the Celestial Realm. He also understood why Tran Hung had asked him to protect the 9-Domain World. Because the world was in chaos, the Celestial Realm might not be able to protect itself. Only when the 9-Domain World was stable would the races of the Celestial Realm have space to live. Seeing Knight Sorrow in thought, Tran Hung understood that Knight Sorrow had understood the importance of this matter. City Lord, Star Moon City is the gateway to the 9-Domain World. I've already used Monarch Spirit Stones and Emperor Spirit Stones to strengthen the protective formation. It's now the 3rd most important place in the Celestial Realm. Apart from the restrictions of the formation and the teleportation formation, Mo Tianji will also appear in Star Moon City if there's a war. This time, it's also because of her that Mo Zhantian did not attack Star Moon City, Knight Sorrow said. Tran Hung was surprised and asked about the meeting between Mo Zhantian and Mo Tianji. After knowing the result, Tran Hung felt more at ease. It's not easy to treat her well. She changed her position in the past. She's one of us now. I understand. With the current situation, if we don't handle it well, the Celestial Realm will be filled with smoke. Knight Sorrow sighed. We live in a chaotic world. There's nothing we can do about it. There are no outsiders. We can talk behind closed doors. The 9-Domain World must be protected. As for the Celestial Realm, it will be a battlefield in the future. It will be a chaotic battlefield. For me, King Yowu, the Grand Elder, and you, the next era will be a battle. If one of us can pass the God-destroying tribulation, then we can stabilize the situation. If not, then the demon-winged race will be in the Demon Imperial City. Tran Hung smiled helplessly. The Primal Chaos Domain World has 3 major worlds. If there's war, some of the weaker races of the Celestial Realm can move there. However, there are some things that need to be said in advance. The Primal Chaos Realm can provide living space, but the main point is harmony. Knight Sorrow said. He was the master of the Primal Chaos Domain World. He had to think about some things. He was responsible for the billions of holy spirits in the Primal Chaos Domain World. This is a way out. It's good to have a way out in a time of war. If they don't listen, then there's no need for them to exist. Desperate times call for desperate measures. There's another point. Your God-slaying team is a good seedling. You need to focus on nurturing them. If you need any support, the Council of Elders and the City Lord of the Celestial Realm's twin cities will fully support you. Tran Hung nodded to Knight Sorrow. He agreed with Knight Sorrow's point of view. Knight Sorrow nodded. Tran Hung's thoughts and views were almost the same as his. There was almost no need for discussion. You still have to guard the Heavenly Desolation City. I'll let you know when there's news about the ancient world. Get ready for battle. None of it will be easy. Tran Hung shook his head and left. After Tran Hung left, Knight Sorrow rubbed his face. He felt pressure but also excitement. He felt that the days ahead would be exciting. Still rubbing your face? What's wrong? Are you feeling pressure? Lin Piaomiao sat beside Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow smiled and helped Lin Piaomiao closer to him. I'm fine. How are you doing as the Grand Elder? Are things going well? Lin Piaomiao leaned her body on Yi Shang's shoulder. It went very smoothly. Other than the City Lord and the Grand Elder's support, there's also your young City Lord's husband behind them. The elders of the Council of Elders gave us face. It's not a matter of face. It's your ability. Haven't you been home recently? Xiao Ke and the others are cultivating well. Night Sorrow said as he reached out and smoothed out Lin Piaomiao's hair that was messed up by the wind. The children are doing well. There's nothing to worry about. After this difficult period is over, I'll give up my position as the Grand Elder and return to the 9-domain world to help my husband and children in the city in the sky. What do you think? Lin Piaomiao raised her head and looked at Night Sorrow. Patting Lin Piaomiao's shoulder, Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that his wives all wanted to live a stable life. It was just that they couldn't settle down now. Forever and ever free 9ZLZLOB little Q said. With a thought, Night Sorrow carried Lin Piaomiao into the clear sky pagoda. His main body had been cultivating and hadn't been with his wife for a long time. After coming out of the clear sky pagoda, Night Sorrow once again gave the clear sky pagoda to his doppelganger. His main body went to the top of the clear sky pagoda to recover from his injuries. At the same time, he continued to cultivate. His doppelganger patrolled the clear sky pagoda. He also took a look at the clear sky pagoda team and the clear sky steel guards. Everything was progressing steadily. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow's doppelganger entered the teleportation circle and arrived at the god's capital. He first went to the Humanitarian League's headquarters. The few elders of the Humanitarian League, Lin Piaomiao, Great Demon King, and Pu Luo, spent most of their time in the clear sky pagoda. After all, they were the upper echelons of the Council of Elders. They had to deal with matters. Ruisi and Yu Zhu stayed at the Humanitarian League's headquarters to seek leisure. Seeing Night Sorrow arrive, Yu Zhu poured a cup of tea for Night Sorrow. Young City Lord, shouldn't you be very busy now? Why are you running around? I'm just moving my mouth. There's nothing to be busy about. You guys are so free. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Don't talk about you guys. I'm not free. Jun Xuanji glanced at Night Sorrow. I know that our chief steward Jun is busy, so I came to take a look. The Humanitarian League belongs to everyone. If it was mine, I would have given it to you directly. I'm occupying the position and not doing anything, Night Sorrow said with a smile. He also spoke the truth. Night Sorrow didn't do much in the Humanitarian League, but he was the core of the organization. Apart from his wife, Lin Piaomiao, Pu Luo, and the Great Demon King were all willing to give Night Sorrow face. Jun Xuanji wasn't at that level. With Night Sorrow around, Jun Xuanji could mobilize the members of the 6 superpowers of the Humanitarian League. Without Night Sorrow, the situation was completely different. You think I'm willing to interfere? All right, I heard that you were injured. It's not serious, is it? Jun Xuanji asked Night Sorrow. I have a rotten life that can't be killed. It's not that easy for anyone to kill me, Night Sorrow smiled. Alliance Lord, you're wrong. There are billions of races in the celestial realm. No one's life is more precious than yours. How can the human emperor of the celestial realm's races have a rotten life? Yu Zhu rebutted Night Sorrow. That's true. When you're free, come to my residence in the heavenly desolate city. We can drink and chat. I'm going to see Martial Uncle now. He's injured and I don't know how he's recovering. Night Sorrow stood up. He had come to see King Yo Wu to ask some questions. Chapter 2190. Why would I hide from you? Martial Uncle King Yo Wu is injured. I have to go and take a look, Night Sorrow explained. It's been so long and you haven't even come to the divine capital once, Jun Xuanji asked. Night Sorrow shook his head. My 9-domain clones can't leave the 9-domain world. My main body is cultivating on the Nirvana Ocean Bridge while my battle clone is in the desolate mountain. I don't have the time. Manager June, if there's anything, you can tell us. The Alliance Master is really busy right now, Rui Si explained on behalf of Night Sorrow. Zhu Juyun, who had been sitting beside Jun Xuanji, wanted to laugh. Rui Si's explanation was reasonable, but it was not the main point. Jun Xuanji could even solve the Humanitarian League's problem. Night Sorrow was not coming because she was unhappy about something else. Starter LR Jun Xuanji and Zhu Juyun knew the same thing, but they could not say it out loud. They could only accept Rui Si's attack. All right then. If you have anything, find Rui Si. If Rui Si can't solve it, then find me in the desolate mountain, Night Sorrow said and left. In fact, Night Sorrow had already forgotten about that incident. He did not want to mention it again. It would be difficult to get rid of it. Watching Yishang leave, Jun Xuanji knew that the previous incident had caused a rift between Yishang and her. He shouldn't have asked that question. If he hadn't asked, the matter would have slowly faded away, and Yishang's heart wouldn't have left a mark. Now that he mentioned it, Yishang could only avoid it. Night Sorrow saw King Yowu and Fen Tian in front of the grass hut at the peak of Yowu Mountain. Because of the huge gap, Fen Tian had been working hard recently and often came to cultivate with King Yowu. This time, he was also guarding King Yowu. Night Sorrow is here. Sit. King Yowu opened his eyes and invited Night Sorrow to sit. Martial Uncle, how are you? Is the Heavenly Dao Flowers effect okay? Night Sorrow asked worriedly. King Yowu nodded. Don't worry. The effect is very good. After recovering for a while, the effects this time will disappear. Furthermore, there will be some benefits to the body. After hearing King Yowu's words, Night Sorrow felt relieved. He was worried that the battle this time would bring irreparable damage to King Yowu. If that happened, it would be difficult for him to pass the God-destroying tribulation. Of course, it was still difficult now. However, if there was an opportunity, he would fight for it. No one would give up. Then, King Yowu asked about the current arrangement of the Heavenly Desolate City. Night Sorrow explained it in detail. Everyone understood that the Demon Wings clan would not launch a second wave of attacks in a short period of time. The only one of the Demon Wings clan who could really fight head-on was Mo Yutian, and the 100 clans of the Celestial Realm had several giants. The Demon Wings clan had no chance of winning. It's a pity that we can't break the Demon Imperial City and completely suppress the Demon Wings clan. King Yowu shook his head helplessly. That is the foundation of the Demon Wings clan. We can't solve it now. Night Sorrow nodded. The existence of the Demon Imperial City was a mountain that blocked the 100 clans of the Celestial Realm from expelling the Demon Wings clan. Countless ancestors of the 100 clans of the Celestial Realm sighed. Work hard. I'll give you time. Your chances are much higher than ours, King Yowu said. Then, Night Sorrow asked King Yowu about the ancient world. It seems that you know about the ancient world and the ancient inheritance. In the Celestial Realm, only Uncle Master, the City Master of the Heavenly Desolate City, and the Grand Elder know about it. I didn't tell anyone else because I didn't want to cause a commotion. Since you know about it, there's no harm in telling you. It's real. King Yowu nodded. After talking with King Yowu for a while, Night Sorrow returned to the Heavenly Desolate City. It was useless to know some things. What he needed was strength. Without strength, what was the point of knowing about the ancient world? Besides, the ancient inheritance was the most urgent thing for Tran Hung and King Yowu because they had reached a point where they couldn't improve. Night Sorrow had a lot of room for improvement, so he should focus on improving his realm. After returning to the Heavenly Desolate City, Night Sorrow's doppelganger went to the Nirvana Ocean Bridge. He took out the Haotian Godly Pagoda and started to cultivate the Sky Attraction chant. The Heavenly Desolate City was quiet, but the Demon Imperial City wasn't. After returning to the Demon Imperial City, Mo Zhantian took some healing pills and stabilized his injuries. Then he called for Lu, my lord. Mo Lu bowed and didn't dare to look at Mo Zhantian. He knew that Mo Zhantian didn't have a good start this time. Of the group of people who went, bring those who left behind their clones. Mo Zhantian instructed Mo Lu. This time, Mo Zhantian brought the elites of the Demon-Winged clan to battle. He planned to fight for a long time, so the young elites of the Demon-Winged clan went with their true bodies. Then, Mo Lu came with a few people, including Yin Xiaotian and Mo Yuqing. Mo Feng also went to battle, but he didn't have a doppelganger. This time, I did not succeed. The main reason is that I was targeted by someone. You guys need to hide in the celestial realm. Do it well. If possible, occupy a force first and steadily operate in the celestial realm. Also, the teleportation crystals are in your hands. As for when to deploy them, wait for my orders, Mo Zhantian said. Mo Zhantian felt that there was no need to arrange the teleportation array immediately. He needed to heal his injuries and couldn't fight in a short time. Even if he entered the celestial realm, it would be useless. Rest assured, my lord. The elites of the demon-winged clan bowed. Darkfeather, you will be fully responsible for the matters of the team. Those who don't listen to orders will be executed. The rest of you listen well. If I hear any of you disobeying orders, don't live and cooperate with me. Darkfeather, you will follow me and report the situation of the team at all times. Mo Zhantian issued a series of orders. Yin Xiaoan and the others bowed. Yin Xiaotian was very proud, but he also understood that he was an external force in the demon-winged clan. Mo Yuqing was not only strong, but also a direct descendant of the demon-winged clan. He was the descendant of Mo Zhantian's tribe. Mo Yuqing, remember one thing. Be very cautious. Whether you guys are safe in the celestial realm or not is related to whether our demon-winged clan can enter the celestial realm, Mo Zhantian said to Mo Yuqing. Watching the elites of the demon-winged clan leave, Mo Zhantian shook his head. At that time, Night Sorrow, Mo Yuqing, Mo Feng and Yin Xiaotian were cultivators of the same level, but now, Night Sorrow had already rushed into the intermediate Emperor Tribulation level, while Yin Xiaotian and the others were only at the second Emperor Tribulation level. The gap was getting bigger and bigger. At this time, in the depths of a mountain range in the celestial realm, Mo Yuqing was in a meeting with the 200 people of the demon-winged clan, conveying Mo Zhantian's orders. Captain Yuqing, what should we do now? Should we find a tribe that has no contact with the outside world and conquer it? Mo Feng asked. After hearing Mo Yuqing's orders, Mo Feng was a little unwilling, but he still obeyed. The fall of his avatar had affected his future achievements, and his status in the demon-winged clan was no longer as high as Mo Yuqing's. Chapter 2191. The members of the demon wing race were loyal to their race. After Mo Yuqing gave the order, more than a dozen demon wing race members stood out. Among you, if you have a doppelganger, leave your original body behind. If there's a problem, don't hesitate to self-destruct. Our team must not reveal our whereabouts. Our main sources of information are Tianhuang City, Night Sorrow, and the 9-domain world. Mo Yuqing looked at the elites of the demon wing race and said, after spreading out the spies, Mo Yuqing ordered the team to set up camp. She was now carrying out Mo Zhantian's plan of seeking stability. /update, new *% soonest A on Lai Shang's 9 Realms doppelganger had embedded Emperor Spirit Stones into the head of the Ice Dragon King, while its claws and tail were embedded with Emperor Spirit Stones. He had done the same for the profound Ice Unicorn Tiger King in Sky City. He had also replaced the core of the defensive formation with Emperor Spirit Stones, turning the Dragon Tiger formation into an Imperial Tribulation level formation. Mo Tianji's doppelganger was in the process of being nurtured. Her original body followed Night Sorrow and watched as Night Sorrow changed the formation. Having a strong foundation and being able to afford squandering, it feels different. Mo Tianji said emotionally after watching Night Sorrow change the formation. I have to squander. The sense of crisis is too strong. The celestial realm is now the target of many forces. They want to use the celestial realm as a springboard to attack the 9-domain world. It's difficult to defend the entire celestial realm. I can't do it either. However, I have to defend the 9-domain world. I'll kill whoever comes, Night Sorrow said. For you and for us, the 9-domain world is the foundation. We can't afford to lose it. Currently, the 9-domain world is a new world. It's developing into a supreme world. It's relatively far from the extraterrestrial worlds. As time passes, the extraterrestrial worlds will approach the 9-domain world. At that time, there will be danger. Mo Tianji said, I'm the realm lord of the 9 regions world. When some spatial worlds approach, I'll know in advance. If I can control them, then there's nothing to say. If I can't control them, then I'll deal with them as soon as possible. Night Sorrow said, for the sake of the billions of holy spirits in the 9 regions world, Night Sorrow was filled with killing intent. The Buddha's heart and the demon's heart. Maybe you are doing a great deed, said Mo Tianji. Perhaps. By the way, aren't you going to ask about the battle between my martial uncle and Mo Zhantian? Night Sorrow asked. It doesn't matter whether I ask or not. With you in the middle, Mo Zhantian will definitely be at a disadvantage. If I'm not wrong, he should have been seriously injured and then ran back to the Demon Imperial City. Mo Tianji looked at Night Sorrow and smiled. She knew that if Night Sorrow could say something like this, he had a kind attitude towards her. How can you be so accurate? Night Sorrow knew that Mo Tianji was smart, but he was still surprised that she could make such an accurate judgment. It's simple. Since King Yo Wu found Mo Zhantian, no matter what price he had to pay, he wouldn't give him a chance to cause trouble in the celestial realm. Besides, in terms of strength, Tran Hung and King Yo Wu are both slightly stronger than Mo Zhantian. When I saw him, he was already injured. Under the condition of being injured and being chased by King Yo Wu, he must have run away in the end. As for being killed, it's not that easy for a cultivator of the tribulation of the 9 emperors to die. Therefore, the final result was that he ran back to the Demon Imperial City in the celestial realm where the 100 races couldn't break through. This was also the inevitable result. Mo Tianji gave her detailed analysis. Just as you expected, he ran back to the Demon Imperial City, but he paid a price. He burned a large amount of his essence blood and performed the soul sacrifice in the end. Night Sorrow told Mo Tianji. He felt that there was no need to hide it from Mo Tianji. Burning his essence blood at this stage is equivalent to lowering the chances of him surviving the God-destroying tribulation. He didn't have much of a chance to begin with, and now his chances are even slimmer. In addition, the burning of the power of faith also caused him a great loss. It's equivalent to damaging his fate and destiny. This time, he really lost more than he gained. Mo Tianji shook her head. Night Sorrow and Mo Tianji drank tea and chatted about some details. It was your appearance that changed the situation. Now, the fate of the Demon Wings clan is gradually declining. Even if all of us die in an era, the descendants of the Demon Wings clan will still be inferior to the descendants of the 100 races in the celestial realm. Mo Tianji sighed. She had seen a lot and had her own analysis. Tianji, don't hate me. Some things are different. I'm not as bad as the Demon Wings clan thinks. Seeing Mo Tianji sigh, Night Sorrow also felt a little bad. I don't hate you. You're thinking too much. After meeting you, my fate has changed. My life now is much easier than before. You're sighing because you're a little emotional. Things will move in the opposite direction when they reach an extreme. The Demon Wings clan was too strong in the Heaven Wasteland domain, so now they're like the sun setting in the west. Mo Tianji looked at Night Sorrow and shook her head. After talking with Mo Tianji for a while, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. His 2 doppelgangers studied the lost arts at the same time, studying the void destruction slash. He wanted to deduce the beginning destruction slash, so he had to first successfully cultivate the infinite destruction slash, the space-time destruction slash, and the void destruction slash. Then he could fuse them. Now he was at the 3rd step. Night Sorrow went to cultivate, and Mo Tianji also entered the Origin Enlightened Treasure Pavilion. She was now nourishing her doppelgangers, and at the same time organizing what she had learned in the past. Once her doppelgangers finished nourishing and fused with their souls, she would work hard to pass the God-destroying tribulation. After entering the Origin Enlightened Treasure Pavilion, Mo Tianji's mood was not very calm. When Night Sorrow said not to hate him, Mo Tianji knew that Night Sorrow was a kind person and sincerely treated her as a friend. He did not want her to be unhappy and hold a grudge. To put it bluntly, he was actually coaxing her. She appreciated this kindness, And she also understood that it was rare to have a friend like Night Sorrow who was so considerate. All the forces in the celestial realm moved. They all sent their cultivators out to gain experience, and they all gave the order to search for the foreign races. Night Sorrow's original body and his two doppelgangers were working hard in cultivation. The improvement of the realm had to be done slowly, and he was pursuing the improvement of his battle strength. He wanted to cultivate the beginning destruction / time slowly slipped away in this state. The cultivators in the heavenly desolate city could see Night Sorrow's figure cultivating every day, but they did not see him move. Night Sorrow cultivated the heaven attraction chant, and he no longer needed to get up. His soul power could draw the energy of heaven and earth into his body to study and analyze. In addition, Night Sorrow realized that he could not cultivate like this. His infinity attribute had reached a bottleneck, and he could not analyze anything. There was no need for useless efforts. Chapter 2192. The ancestor of the Demon Wing clan was the most outstanding cultivator in the history of the Demon Wing clan. His spirit sea was already at the God Emperor realm. He had passed more than half of the God-destroying tribulation, and his spirit sea had completed its evolution. However, his body was still destroyed by the God-destroying tribulation in the end. Night Sorrow had only heard about the Demon Imperial City and the ancestor of the Demon Wing clan. He was quite curious. This time, he planned to take a look and even give it a try. He wanted to see if his 6 stars Emperor King's fire could break through the defense. As for the danger, Night Sorrow knew that there was. However, he felt that if someone wanted to kill him, they would have to take out the power of the 7 Emperors' tribulation. The 6 Emperors' tribulation was not enough. No one knew that Night Sorrow's clone had left the Nirvana Ocean Bridge. Night Sorrow also did not want others to know. If the people around him knew, they would definitely not agree. In addition, he did not want others to worry. Night Sorrow's speed was very fast. Even without the teleportation formation, he could reach the peak of the heavenly desolate mountain in just a day. In addition, the teleportation formation was not destroyed. When he reached the peak of the heavenly desolate mountain, Night Sorrow found that his stronghold was still there. No one came to destroy it. This also let him know that the Demon Wing clan was very cautious. The heavenly desolate mountain was a dangerous area. They simply did not come. After resting in the heavenly desolate mountain for 2 days, Night Sorrow set off. He had a very complete map of the heavenly desolate mountain in his hand. He had obtained it from the spoils of war on the Nirvana Ocean Bridge. The Demon Wing clan used to live in a world called the Heavenly Desolate Domain. Therefore, the area they occupied in the celestial realm was called the Heavenly Desolate Domain. The area was very large, about a quarter of the celestial realm's territory. After leaving the Heavenly Desolate Mountain, Night Sorrow arrived at the city ruled by the Demon Wing clan. Looking at himself, Night Sorrow's energy changed a bit and changed his body. It was very easy for Night Sorrow to change the structure of his body. The flesh and blood in his body were like energy crystals. With a casual combination, he had the characteristics of the Demon Wing clan. Horns and wings appeared. Night Sorrow also had a passageway token, and it was a rather high-grade one. The experts he had killed on the Nirvana Ocean Bridge were all experts of the Devil Wing race, so their status in the Devil Wing race wasn't low. Therefore, there wouldn't be any problem for him to pass through the Heaven Wasteland region. After entering the city, Night Sorrow found that the social organization of the Demon Wing clan was different from that of the 100 races of the celestial realm. Although the degree of civilization was not low, the atmosphere of valiance was very strong. The men were all wearing loose pants, exposing their upper bodies. The women were also wearing revealing clothes. They were completely different from Mo Tianji in terms of aura and temperament. They were very ostentatious. There were many taverns in the city, but there was only one tea house. Night Sorrow entered the tea house and ordered a pot of tea. He mainly wanted to hear what the Demon Winged race was saying. He wanted to find out more information. The tea houses of the celestial realm were very quiet. The customers would pay attention to the atmosphere and wouldn't disturb others. They were looking for a peaceful feeling when drinking tea. However, this wasn't the case on Heaven Wasteland. The people drinking tea were also very eloquent. After listening for a while, Night Sorrow understood that these people were talking about the battle between the Demon Wing clan and the Celestial Realm. These people didn't know about Emo Gentien's defeat. They were now loudly discussing the Demon Imperial City's order to not go to the Heaven Wasteland Mountain. A human brat has appeared in the Heavenly Desolate Mountain. He has caused our Devil Wings clan to suffer. Many elites of our Devil Wings clan have died in his hands. Emo Shouting of the Dark King tribe and Emo Icheng of the Nether King tribe have also died in his hands. Apart from these two, many of our clansmen have also been killed by him. He is the greatest enemy of our Devil Wings clan, and also the stumbling block of our Devil Wings clan's conquest of the world. A man from the Devil Wings clan shouted. Then a group of people cursed. Those curses were comparable to flogging a corpse. Night Sorrow understood that it wasn't that the Demon Wing clan was afraid. It was that the higher-ups of the Demon Wing clan were worried that there would be an ambush in the Heaven Wasteland Mountain. Therefore, they didn't allow their clansmen to go before they cleaned up. After staying in the tea house for a while, Night Sorrow left. The tea in the tea house didn't taste good. Night Sorrow only took a sip. It was very bitter. The culture of the tea ceremony was still relatively low. After leaving the tea house, Night Sorrow went to the transmission formation and headed for the big city. He didn't want to fight now, mainly because he didn't want to act rashly and alert the enemy. He came this time to see the Demon Imperial City, nothing else. In addition, Night Sorrow also knew that these Demon Wing clan members were marginal members of the Demon Wing clan. They came to the Heaven Wasteland domain to develop. The real members of the Demon Wing clan were either in the Heaven Wasteland domain, in the Demon Imperial City, or around the Demon Imperial City. They wouldn't live in a small city. Whether these people were killed or not, the higher-ups of the Demon Wing clan didn't care. Emo Gentian and Emo Yutian also knew that the 100 clans of the Celestial Realm wouldn't easily attack the Heaven Wasteland domain. It wasn't that they couldn't take it, but that they couldn't defend it. In other words, after the 100 clans of the Celestial Realm occupied this area, it would be a burden that was difficult to defend. In a tavern in a big city, Night Sorrow heard a few names. He really knew these people. They were Emo Fing and Emo Yuqing. The two of them and another person called Emo Yufan were known as the Three Heroes. They were the most outstanding cultivators of the 8th era of reincarnation. Night Sorrow didn't know about Emo Yufan, an elite of the Demon Wing clan, but Night Sorrow was all too familiar with Emo Fing. That guy's doppelganger and real body had fought together to trap him. In the end, it was Emo Gentian who saved the real body. In addition, he also knew Emo Yuqing. He was the leader of the Demon Wing clan's Imperial Tribulation team. Hearing these names, Night Sorrow just shook his head. Back then, these people were at the same level as him, but with his hard work, the gap between their realms and strength had widened. If they met again, he could easily kill them. While inquiring for information, Night Sorrow slowly went deep into the core area of the Demon Wing clan. While stabilizing his injuries, Emo Gentian pondered. He didn't expect Emo Tianji to still be alive in this world, let alone her attitude towards him. This meant that Emo Tianji had really given up on the Demon Wing clan. Emo Gentian couldn't understand why Emo Tianji's will had changed. He was very clear about Emo Tianji's willpower. She wouldn't compromise unless she reached a certain level. He simply couldn't understand. Emo Gentian felt that when there was time and opportunity, it was better to ask her face to face. After all, guesses weren't facts. Emo Gentian also felt very powerless. Now, he was alone. He couldn't withstand the war with the 100 races of the Celestial Realm. Whether it was Tran Hung or King Yawu, they both brought him great pressure. He was now healing his injuries while waiting for Emo Yutian to come out of seclusion. Night Sorrow advanced while inquiring for information. Along the way, Night Sorrow learned more and more about the Demon Wing clan. After a month and a half, Night Sorrow reached the core area of the Demon Wing clan and the area where the Demon Imperial City was located. From afar, Night Sorrow saw the Demon Imperial City. It was an extremely terrifying skull, sitting on a great plain. It was almost impossible to see its entire face with the naked eye. The skull was wrapped in dense energy. Chapter 2193. The gigantic skull covered an area of who knew how many miles. In addition, the energy that flowed out of the 7 apertures of the skull also covered some areas. Not only in the celestial wasteland region, but in the entire celestial realm, the demonic imperial city was the #1 fortress. The defense of the celestial wasteland city and the holy capital city in the celestial realm could not be compared to that of the demonic imperial city. The ancestor of the demonic winged clan had fallen, but it was a fact that he was born in the demonic winged clan. He had a natural affinity and protection for the descendants of the demonic winged clan. In the thousands of reincarnations of the demonic winged clan, some experts had set up a formation. The formation and the skull were perfectly integrated, and it became the strongest fortress in the celestial realm. Looking at the demonic imperial city, Knight Sorrow felt powerless. His cultivation of the tribulation of the 4 emperors meant that the energy in his body was very strong. But compared to the surging energy of the demonic imperial city, it was just a drop in the ocean. This situation made Knight Sorrow fall into deep thought. For the attacking party, killing their way in and breaking the defense of the demonic imperial city were 2 different things. The former Shura Empress Yi Tianxin had killed her way in, but the defense of the demonic imperial city was still there. After she killed her way in, her strength was suppressed, and she could not do much. She had to retreat after exhausting herself. Moving his feet, Knight Sorrow walked towards the demonic imperial city. Since he was here, he had to feel it. As he approached, Knight Sorrow felt that he was different from the other demonic winged clan members. He was repelled. In other words, the energy released by the demonic imperial city did not harm or repel the demonic winged clan members, but it repelled him. This made Knight Sorrow understand that it was a problem with the origin of life. It was because his soul was different from the demonic winged clan members that the energy of the demonic imperial city targeted him. Unwilling to retreat like this, Knight Sorrow decided to try again. As for being exposed, Knight Sorrow was not afraid. He had already set up a transportation formation for escape. As long as he was discovered, he could throw out the newly refined advanced defense formation to block the attack and teleport away. As they got closer, Yi Shang felt the pressure increase. Of course, he had to bear the pressure. But as he did, the energy of the matrix in the magic imperial city changed. It increased the suppression on Yi Shang. Wave after wave of energy attacked Yi Shang. At this time, many cultivators of the Demon Wing clan had already realized that something was wrong, because such a situation would not occur normally. Spy! Some of the demonic winged clan members realized something was amiss. Yi Shang sighed in his heart. There was nothing he could do about it. The defense of the magic imperial city was too strong, and it was an automatic defense. Under such circumstances, it would be impossible for him not to be discovered. How dare you! At this time, Mo Yutian roared. He was in control of the demonic imperial city's array. Naturally, he would know when the energy of the array changed. There's nothing to be bold about. I'll come back here again. But remember, I won't leave so easily next time. After Yi Shang threw out the defensive array disk, he activated the teleportation array disk. The moment the teleportation began, Yi Shang took the defensive array disk away. An Emperor Tribulation Realm array disk was a treasure. Naturally, he couldn't leave it behind. Knight Sorrow's figure disappeared. Mo Yutian went to where Knight Sorrow was standing. He was interrupted in the middle of cultivation and had to come out. The defense of the demonic imperial city was greater than the sky for the demonic winged clan. Seeing Knight Sorrow's figure leave, Mo Yutian's face turned pale. Knight Sorrow had come to the demonic imperial city. This meant that the defense of the demonic winged clan was too lax. With one transportation formation, Knight Sorrow was tens of thousands of miles away from the demonic imperial city and arrived at a safe area. Knight Sorrow knew that if he wanted to break into the demonic imperial city, he had to at least be able to withstand the interference and attacks. Otherwise, he would be killed before he could do anything. It's that bastard. He's too troublesome. If there's a chance, I must kill him first. Mo Zhantian stopped healing and went to the gate of the demonic imperial city. Zhantian, what happened to you? Mo Yutian was shocked to see Mo Zhantian's weak aura and without the protection of the power of faith. He did not know how Mo Zhantian ended up like this. Let's go back and talk. This matter can't be explained in a few words. Mo Zhantian shook his head. He was also very angry at the mention of this matter. Back in the demonic imperial city's heaven battling pavilion, Mo Zhantian told everyone about the failure of his mission. He also mentioned Mo Tianji. Tianji has given up on our demonic winged clan? Mo Yutian, who was sitting down, stood up in shock when he heard about Mo Tianji. I don't know. She was very determined. Something must have happened that we don't know about. Mo Zhantian shook his head. Mo Yutian did not say anything. The two of them did not say anything to persuade Mo Tianji. They were both strong-willed people. Once they had decided on something, no one could persuade them. Right now, we don't have the ability to attack. We can only defend. You should accumulate more and prepare for the God-destroying tribulation. I don't stand a chance. If they can't survive the God-destroying tribulation, then our two clans will still be on the same starting line. After chatting for a while, Mo Yutian controlled his doppelganger to recuperate. Then, he went to work on the defense around the demonic imperial city. Night Sorrow's arrival was not scary. He was afraid that the giants of the celestial realm would come. If Tran Hung and King Yowu came, then there would be a hole in the defense of the demonic imperial city. Translator, Atlas Studios Editor, Atlas Studios Translator, Atlas Studios Editor, Atlas Studios. After leaving the demonic imperial city, Night Sorrow went to the peak of Mount Tianhuang. He went to the demonic imperial city. He did not understand anything, but he saw how powerful the demonic imperial city was. He knew that his current strength was far from enough. After thinking about it, Night Sorrow felt that it was meaningless to occupy the peak of Mount Tianhuang. In the words of Tran Hung and the others, as long as they could not take down the demonic imperial city, it would be useless to occupy the territory. After leaving the peak of Mount Tianhuang, Night Sorrow returned to the demonic imperial city. The devil-winged clans sought stability, and he also needed time to raise his cultivation base in a stable environment. After returning to the demonic imperial city, Night Sorrow checked the defense of the city again. After saying goodbye to his wives, he entered the demonic imperial space. The demonic imperial space had a time acceleration of 60 times. He could study the beginning of the slash of destruction as soon as possible. Mo Yuqing led a group of people to set up camp in the Mount Tianhuang. The spies sent out one after another brought back news, mainly about the Nine Domains world. The Nine Domains world was not a secret in the celestial realm, but the cultivators outside the Nine Domains world and the Chaos Domain could not enter. There was only one way to enter the Nine Domains world, and that was to get Night Sorrow's permission. Scout and find the low-level cultivators of the Nine Domains world. If we can control one or two, then we can break into the Nine Domains world, Mo Yuqing said. Yin Xiaoyan, Mo Fing and the others did not speak. They supported Mo Yuqing's decision, because they knew that the demonic winged clan's attack on the celestial realm was not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal was to occupy the new supreme world. Chapter 2194. Qin Lin and Qing Luan came out to train in their true bodies. Their doppelgangers were still in Xingyue City. The two of them arrived at Tianhuang City. Because they teleported directly from Night Moon Villa, the guards in Tianhuang City did not stop them. However, to confirm their identities, the commander personally sent them to Night Sorrow's residence. Night Sorrow was cultivating in seclusion. Qin Lin and Qing Luan did not see Night Sorrow. As his sister-in-law, Lin Piaomiao, Datura, and the others warmly welcomed Qin Lin and Qing Luan and invited them to stay. Elder Lin, you don't have to be so polite. We are embarrassed. Our father wants us to travel more and have a bright future. If we can't even enter the heavenly monarch realm, it's even more impossible to become an emperor, Qing Luan said. This mainly depends on fate and opportunity. When the opportunity comes, you can understand it. There are more opportunities in battle and travel, but you have to be careful, Lin Piaomiao said. Thank you, Elder Lin. We will be careful. Qing Luan nodded. Her personality had changed a lot. It was mainly because she was more knowledgeable. She knew that her level was low and there was a lot of room for her to work hard. That's fine. Don't be so polite. If you need to come, just come. The guards in Tianhuang City know you and will not stop you in the future, Lin Piamiao said. Knew why, fastest you up B9 Qing Lin and Qing Luan cupped their hands to Lin Piamiao, Datura, and the others. Although they were Night Sorrow's senior brother and senior sister, Lin Piamiao and Datura's status and cultivation were higher than theirs. They had to be respectful. Things change. The scene of Night Sorrow fighting for our Qing Emperor's dynasty is still vivid in my mind. Now, he is a Tribulation 4 Emperor's cultivator and a top expert in the celestial realm. However, we are still stuck at rank 8. It's embarrassing. Qing Luan lamented. Qing Lin nodded. He didn't say much, mainly because he felt ashamed. Back then, he and Qing Luan had made things difficult for Night Sorrow. Brother, don't think too much. Let's figure out where we are going first, Qing Luan said. She knew how Qing Lin felt because she felt the same way. If we're talking about opportunities, the 9-domain world has the most at the moment. However, it's not suitable for us to go there. Junior Brother's children and disciples are all training in the celestial realm and are not fighting for opportunities in the 9-domain world. We can't be too shameless. How about this? Let's go to the ethereal dynasty. No matter what, that area is part of Star Moon City's radiation zone, Qing Lin said. Qing Lin and Qing Luan teleported back to the ethereal empire. After exiting the teleportation formation, they entered a tea house first. They were going to train, so they had to have a plan. Royal Brother, the most famous place in the ethereal dynasty is the Twilight Tea House. However, we can't afford it. Let Junior Brother bring us there next time, Qing Luan said. The Twilight Tea House was not only the signature of the ethereal dynasty, but also the place where the tea culture of the celestial realm was displayed. Everyone who loved tea knew about the Twilight Tea House and was proud to be able to drink tea in the Twilight Tea House. However, the Twilight Tea House was not something most people could afford. The price was indeed high. These two came out of the Night Moon Villa and took the teleportation formation to the Sky Desolate City. Those who come out of the Night Moon Villa are basically from the 9-domain world and are Night Sorrow's friends. These two are at the 8th rank. We'll keep an eye on them and report to the captain now. A demon-winged clan spy said. It wasn't that the ethereal dynasty didn't have any 9th rank cultivators. The highest was the Emperor rank. The spies sent out by Dark Feather were either high-class Emperor rank or early-stage Emperor rank elites. They also deliberately hid their aura. In the absence of Lin Piamiao and Night Sorrow, it was difficult for others to discover them. Hearing the spies' report, Dark Feather knew that this was an opportunity. However, the problem of the main body and the clone made her a little worried. Do all the cultivators of the celestial realm have a clone? Yin Xiaoyan asked Dark Feather. Almost all the cultivators above the 8th rank have one. Perhaps their main body and clone are together, but what if they aren't together? If this problem can't be solved, we can only take it slow. We can even make friends first and slowly walk the emotional path. Dark Feather said after thinking for a moment. Making friends with them is simply a disgrace. Mo Fang was very unhappy, but he didn't object because it was necessary for the overall situation. You guys keep an eye on them. Show your cultivation base a little lower. Even say that you have to do something for them at the cost of your life to win their friendship. In addition, inquire about the situation of their main body and clone. When there's an opportunity, we'll make a move. Dark Feather issued an order. She intended to work in many aspects. After making the arrangements, Dark Feather reported to Mo Zhangtian, who was meditating in the Heaven Battling building. Exhaling, Mo Zhangtian opened his eyes. Very well arranged. The opportunity to infiltrate the Heaven realm was not easy to come by. The opportunity to infiltrate the 9-domain world was even rarer. Let's do it this way. Remember to be extremely cautious. Sovereign Dark Feather bowed. Her plan had also been carefully considered. There is also a more important point. If you want to enter the 9-domain world, you have to deceive the two 8th rank cultivators and enter in the form of a space treasure. Because your aura cannot be concealed from Night Sorrow, who is the domain lord. Only then will it be safe to enter the 9-domain world. Mo Zhantian reminded. He did not say it out loud. He was not only afraid that Night Sorrow would discover that the aura of the demon-winged clan was not right, but he was also worried about Mo Tianji. The moment Mo Tianji unsheathed her sword, Mo Zhantian already had a measure in his heart. He knew that Mo Tianji was no longer in the same team as him. Dark Feather nodded. She would arrange these things properly. She was already preparing some backup plans. How about the team? There are several people from other domains in your team. You have to pay attention to them. Whether they are allies or not, the demon-winged clan must take the initiative. No matter what we arrange, they have to obey. Not only now, but also in the future. Mo Zhantian finished speaking and continued to meditate to heal. In the depths of the celestial realm, Dark Feather found another scheming and shrewd elite of the demon-winged clan. He was one of the 3 heroes of the demon-winged clan, Dark Feather Fan. She told him about Mo Zhantian's intention. Dark Feather Fan will naturally obey the arrangements of the divine ancestor. I will do whatever the captain arranges. Are you not going to tell Fei Ying about this? The gentle-looking Dark Feather Fan asked. He had a good relationship with Fei Ying, so he did not want Fei Ying to be isolated by Dark Feather Fan. Not for the time being. It's not that I don't trust him. We are all members of the demon-winged clan. There is no such thing as mutual respect. It's just that Fei Ying's character is irritable. There are some things that cannot be hidden. Chapter 2195. Dark Feather knew that everyone had a cautious side in their heart. Without gaining the absolute trust of Qinglin and Qingluan, it was impossible to enter the 9 domains world. If you want to put on a show, you have to go all the way. Some arrangements should be made. We have to choose a good target. If it's too big, it will be difficult for us to control with too few people. If it's too small, it will be difficult for a small tribe to produce a group of cultivators like us, Dark Feather said. Yes, we have to find a suitable target. We will first kill their young and strong men. Our team members will act as the young and strong men of the team. As for the elderly and children, each of us will control a part of them with our soul power. When necessary, we will put on a show in front of the 2 people, Dark Feather said. Captain is very thoughtful. The main thing is whether the first step of our spies goes smoothly. If it goes smoothly, then it will not be difficult to gain their trust, Dark Feather said. Dark Feather called over several spies of the Demon Wing clan, arranged a plan, and asked them to make the plan more clever. For example, if someone wanted to get closer to Qinglin and Qingluan, then someone would act as the opposite, act as the opponent, and create a crisis with them. This way, the friendship would be upgraded faster. After the plan and requirements were arranged, Dark Feather gathered the team members together. Now she wanted to find a small tribe to develop. Qinglin and Qingluan began their journey of experience. Although the undercurrent was surging, the celestial realms seemed very stable. Night Sorrow's 3 bodies were all cultivating in the time acceleration. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years had passed. Perhaps 30 years was nothing in the eyes of the older generation, but for the younger generation, 30 years was very important. It may be the time from birth to the next generation. The members of the God-slaying squad gathered together again, but this time was different from before. Except for Night Sorrow, it was a gathering of everyone. Under the time acceleration of the 9 domains world's heaven-sealing palace and the demonstration of the momentum of heaven and earth, the members of the God-slaying squad entered the Emperor Realm one after another. Only a few people with poor aptitude were left. They temporarily gave up the charge and became guardians of the 9 domains world. Long Jin, apart from the time when our captain was in deep sleep, this is the longest time he has been in closed-door training, right? Liang Yu looked at Long Jin and asked. Yes, I reckon that when he appears again, his strength will be very frightening. Long Jin nodded. Everyone had improved a lot in the past 30 years. Long Jin himself had cultivated for 30 years in the Dragon Island's time acceleration. He was already a high-level great emperor and had a son, the Golden Dragon King's son. The Golden Dragon King was very happy. Sister-in-law, brother Shirsan doesn't miss you? Is he not coming out of seclusion? Yi Mei looked at Sikong Chuyu and asked. Sikong Chuyu smiled and said, I think so. For the sake of long-term stability in the future, he has to work hard. He knows the burden on his shoulders is heavy. You haven't returned to the 9 Domains world recently, right? The 9 Domain world is extremely vast right now. It would take a long time for me to patrol the area with my men, Qian Xiangwei said. She did not enter the Emperor realm, but she did not return to the profound sky world. She stayed in the 9 regions world and became a guardian. Chapter 1, on Section E / Second Sister, it's been hard on you. Ho Jian and the others nodded at Qian Xiangwei. They addressed her the same way as Night Sorrow and Qian Yu. In private, Night Sorrow addressed Qian Xiangwei and Qian Xiangwei as Big Sister and Second Sister. You don't have to be so polite. It's an undeniable fact that your aptitude is not enough. However, everyone's role is different. The other brothers and I will watch over the 9 Domains world while you follow the captain to conquer the world. This is not bad, Qian Xiangwei said with a smile. She was indeed very happy. Although she had not entered the Great Emperor realm, she had a group of rank 9 brothers and sisters. Who would dare to look down on her? Not entering the Great Emperor realm is only temporary. The fastest to produce great emperors is our god-slaying team. Looking at the cultivators of other forces, which one of them hasn't cultivated for a long time, accumulate some foundation and in the future, you will naturally cross that threshold. So there's no need to rush. Datura said. Everyone drank and chatted. 30 years had passed in the real world, but it was not the same time in the time acceleration. Everyone was usually in seclusion or cultivating, so it was especially lively when they met. Night Sorrow's original body had been working hard to cultivate. In the 30 years in the real world, he had cultivated for more than 1,000 years in the accelerated time. His realm had improved a lot, but he had not reached the level of 1 level. After entering the mid-stage Tribulation Emperor realm, it was too difficult to increase 1 level. His 2 doppelgangers continued to deduce and perfect their unique techniques, but they had also reached a bottleneck. The bottleneck was the fusion of the primordial destruction / He had completed the fusion, but he felt that there were still some imperfections. He felt that there were still some flaws that needed to be perfected. King Youwu had come to Tianhuang City a few times. He looked at the figure cultivating at the top of Tianhuang City and did not disturb him. He naturally knew about Night Sorrow's progress. Tran Hung had seen him a few times in the 30 years and had told him about some of the progress in the exploration of the ancient world. As for the World Tree, the city lord of Tianhuang City could not do anything about it. In a private room of the Humanitarian League, Jun Xuanji and Zhu Juyun sat opposite each other and drank tea. Juyun, congratulations. Jun Xuanji cupped his hands at Zhu Juyun. He was congratulating Zhu Juyun for entering the 3-star Emperor realm. Thank you. I have been in seclusion for so many years, but you still haven't changed. Is there any progress? Zhu Juyun asked. No. You may not know, but Night Sorrow has never come out of seclusion. In the past 30 years, whether it was his original body or his doppelgangers, he has not seen anyone. Also, it's not appropriate for me to talk about those things with him. Back then, it happened when he lost his mind, so there are no impressions or memories in his soul. He does not have any feelings for me. When he sees me, it's the same as when he sees other people. Jun Xuanji shook his head. You don't have to think about this anymore. Feelings with a purpose are scheming. It really shouldn't be done. It will also make people feel disgusted. Zhu Juyun looked at Jun Xuanji and said. Jun Xuanji was taken aback for a moment. She had always been confused by the situation. Now that Zhu Juyun said this, she understood a lot. She also knew the reason why Night Sorrow was repulsed. Night Sorrow was repulsed by scheming. At this time, in a tribe in the desolate mountains, a wedding was being held. It was Qing Lin's wedding. He was marrying another member of their training team. 30 years ago, he and Qing Luan made several companions during their training. After going through many trials and hardships together, he fell in love with a woman in the team. Today was the day of their marriage. Yufan, how do you feel? At the top of a pavilion in the tribe, Mo Yufan looked at the wedding area and asked Mo Yufan. Chapter 2196. Once we take this step, we'll be closer to our goal. Mo Yufan nodded. Everyone knew that it was difficult to guard against a thief in the family. After becoming Qing Lin's wife, it would be too easy for the Demon Wing clan spy to do something. That good-for-nothing guy took advantage of the women of our Demon Wing clan. Hateful, but it doesn't matter. When there is a chance, I will cut him up and feed him to the dogs. Mo Yuqing cursed. Originally, Mo Yuqing, who was very feminist, did not intend to sacrifice the female members and planned to use the male members to attack Qing Luan. But after a long time, Qing Luan did not feel anything. Mo Yuqing did not know that Qing Luan would compare herself with Night Sorrow when she saw an outstanding man, so she did not feel anything. Mo Xiaolan and Qing Luan were very happy today. Qing Luan had changed her way of addressing her. Mo Xiaolan, who used to be called Big Sister, was now called Sister-in-law. Mo Xiaolan's original name was Mo Xiaonan. In order to hide the information, she changed her name to Mo Xiaolan. She was in the same training team as Qing Lin and received the order of Mo Yuqing. She took the initiative to cultivate a relationship with Qing Lin, and today there was a result. After worshipping heaven and earth, Mo Xiaolan glanced in the direction of Mo Yuqing. She knew that she was about to make a sacrifice for her clan. Sacrifice was her chastity that she valued very much. Mo Xiaolan originally looked down on Qing Lin, so even in the same team, she had delayed the wedding for more than 20 years. But now, with Mo Yuqing's order, she must pay. In addition, she also knew that Mo Yuqing's plan was about to succeed. There was no such thing as guarding against a thief for 1,000 days. At the beginning, Qing Lin and Qing Luan were very cautious, but after several battles, when she pretended to protect Qing Lin and Qing Luan with her life, Qing Lin and Qing Luan no longer had any vigilance. Brother, congratulations. Qing Luan gave a cupped fist salute to Qing Lin. Qing Luan, you have to hurry up. It's good that we have so many brothers in our team. Qing Lin put his arm around his new wife's shoulder. He did not know that Mo Xiaolan could not wait to chop off his hand and all the parts of his body. Watching Qing Lin and Mo Xiaolan enter the bridal chamber, Mo Yuqing retracted his gaze. There is only success if there is effort. Today is the effort, in the future it will be our Demon Wing clan's harvest. Captain. Mo Xiaolan's clone came to the side of Mo Yuqing and Mo Yufan. Follow the plan and please him. Remember, this temporary forbearance is worth it. It will give our Demon Wing clan a piece of sky. No one will look down on you. If you dare to say a word of nonsense, I will definitely kill you. Dark Feather turned his head to look at Mo Xiaolan and said, Your subordinate understands. Mo Xiaolan lowered her head and left because Qing Lin was currently undressing her main body. Yufan, if the plan goes smoothly, what do you think? Dark Feather looked at Dark Feather and asked. In terms of strategy, the rest of us are far inferior to you. But I still have a little idea, that is, we can't put all our eggs in one basket. We have to leave some backup plans. Dark Yufan said. Mo Yuqing nodded. No matter what it is, it's best to think it over carefully. Just like the plan of Lord Divine Ancestor last time. If we had just let that trash carry the transmission crystal, the matter would not have been exposed. The original plan was still a bit rough. Dark Yufan did not say a word. He did not want to comment on these things. Looking at the silent Dark Feather opened his mouth. I intend to let Mo Xiaolan go to the 9-domain world and Chaos domain several times first. When everything goes smoothly, then we will consider entering together. Stability is the first priority. In the words of Lord Divine Ancestor, the opportunity to enter the 9-domain world is too rare. We can't afford to waste it. We must grasp it. Yes, stability is very important. In fact, look at things simply. Just treat it as if Mo Xiaolan is really married to Qing Lin, husband and wife are real. Next, let nature take its course. When it's time to enter, Let Emo Xiaolon use the excuse of worry and fear of being rejected as an excuse to enter and leave Star Moon City in Qing Lin's space treasure. As for meeting Qing Lin's family, it's also simple. Let Emo Xiaolon use the excuse of nervousness and not being mentally prepared, and everything will be over, Dark Yufan said. Okay, later you go and remind Emo Xiaolon. Dark Feather nodded to Dark Feather. She also thought highly of Dark Feather in her heart. Although Dark Feather did not speak much, she was very intelligent and was a very good assistant. Dark Feather also understood why Dark Feather almost did not express her opinion. In fact, she did not want to be suspected by her and did not want the team to be disharmonious. In terms of the control of the team, Dark Feather really was not worried. In terms of strength, she and Dark Feather were on par, but in terms of qualifications and background, she was much more solid. Tran Hung once again returned to Heavenly Wasteland City. He first found Huang Ling. How are the spiritual women's cultivation now? It's not good to have a low cultivation base. Look at W/original T version %, chapter. On section S.P. In the past 30 years, they have all worked hard to improve their cultivation base. The one who has improved the fastest is my daughter, concubine Wuling. After awakening her bloodline, she has been cultivating in the ancestral land. Her cultivation base has improved in a straight line, and now she is close to the high-level Emperor Tribulation. The other one is Huang Jie, who was ranked second on the heaven list last time. She is close to the intermediate Emperor Tribulation, and the others are all emperors, Huang Ling said. The Emperor Tribulation cultivation base is similar. Night Sorrow has not come out? Tran Hung turned his head to look in the direction of Heavenly Wasteland Tower. Yes, the young city lord's temperament is really good. In the time acceleration, he has been cultivating for more than 1,000 years. It is estimated that it will not be long before his cultivation base is promoted again. Huang Ling admired and envied. She admired Night Sorrow's perseverance, and envied Night Sorrow's cultivation base in such a short period of time. Night Sorrow's cultivation base was already the same as hers, but his actual combat strength had far surpassed hers. The monstrous figure that was born when the two supreme worlds were alternating is not something we can compare to. He has clashed with the Demon Wing clans several times, which has put pressure on him, Tran Hung said. It is too hard for him to cultivate like this. Although it is the last era, 100 billion years is not a short time. City Lord, if you have time, you should persuade him, Huang Ling said. There is time, but it is still very urgent. We have to hurry up with the matters of the ancient world. When it rains, it pours. I am worried that the ancient world's cultivators will discover the location of the celestial realm because of the changes in the celestial realm's energy. That would be really troublesome. Tran Hung shook his head. The celestial realm was now changing from a supreme world to a sub-supreme world. The energy fluctuations produced were very large. This was also the reason why Tran Hung was worried. After integrating the beginning destruction / once again, Night Sorrow stopped deducing. He was sure that if he wanted to cultivate the beginning destruction / to perfection, there was an insurmountable bottleneck. It was useless to rely only on deduction without comprehension. It was just like the Wuji attribute was stuck. No matter how much he deduced and analyzed the energy, he could not advance. What he needed was a flash of inspiration. However, Night Sorrow did not know when he would have this flash of inspiration. Chapter 2197. Now that the City Lord is back, you're willing to stop your cultivation? Huang Ling asked with a smile when she saw Night Sorrow arrive. I've reached a bottleneck in my cultivation. There's no point in continuing my research. I was just about to return to my residence when I sensed the City Lord's aura. Night Sorrow shook his head and explained. Many cultivators are afraid of being stuck at a bottleneck. Actually, it's not a bad thing. There's a saying that goes, when things reach an extreme, they move in the opposite direction. Being stuck at a bottleneck is a problem, but after overcoming it, you'll improve greatly. Tran Hung said, a wise man. Night Sorrow knew that this was a wise man. He saw things differently from ordinary people. Thank you, City Lord, for your explanation. Lord Spirit King, how is my Aunt Faye now? Night Sorrow asked after sitting down. She's improving by leaps and bounds. She's the second Golden Phoenix in the history of our Ice Phoenix race. Her talent is unparalleled. She's about to reach the high-level Emperor Tribulation level after deliberately controlling her cultivation in order to stabilize her foundation. However, she's only gone through 4 of the 9 Emperor Tribulations of the Heavenly Tao. Suppressing the number of tribulations will reduce her cultivation speed, but the good thing is that her foundation is stable. Huang Ling explained Wu Lingfei's situation. That's good. Some things can't be rushed. Night Sorrow was relieved to know that Wu Lingfei was doing well. The demon-winged race hasn't done anything in the past 30 years. They're probably up to no good. Huang Ling said, "It shouldn't be. Mo Zhantian and Mo Yutian are both in the demonic imperial city. If they don't come out to attack, the celestial realm's defense line will be stable." Night Sorrow said, "The last time he went to the demonic imperial city, Mo Yutian appeared first. He also sensed Mo Zhantian's life aura when the teleportation started. How do you know they haven't come out?" Huang Ling asked, puzzled. 30 years ago, I went to the demonic imperial city once to check on its defense. Later, Mo Zhantian and Mo Yutian appeared. I ran back and started my seclusion." Night Sorrow said. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Huang Ling and Tran Heng's expressions changed. "You're simply fooling around. How can you put yourself in danger? Your existence is a first-class threat to the demon-winged clan. As long as there is a chance, they will kill you at all costs. But you ran to their door by yourself." Tran Heng pointed at Night Sorrow angrily. "Sir City Lord, please don't be angry. I've prepared a backup plan. If the situation turns bad, I'll run immediately." "I won't give them a chance at all," Night Sorrow said embarrassedly. "Night Sorrow, don't blame the City Lord for being angry. You are the human emperor of the 100 races of the celestial realm. You have 2 taboo attributes, and you are the realm lord of the supreme world. You are too important to our side. Nothing can happen to you," Huang Ling said to the embarrassed Night Sorrow. "That's right. Anyone in the celestial realm can die in battle, but you can't. You are our hope. When you grow up, your chances of surviving the God-destroying tribulation are greater than anyone else's. This concerns the future of the 100 races of the celestial realm. You can't be careless. Let's not talk about some unavoidable battles. They are part of your growth experience. But you can't do anything reckless," Tran Heng said. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that Tran Heng and Huang Ling were worried about him. They were doing this for his own good. Then Tran Heng told him about the World Tree. The World Tree was at the edge of an ancient world. That ancient world was also at the periphery of the ancient world group. So, many years had passed, and the World Tree had not been discovered. This matter had to be done quickly. It mainly depended on when the cultivators with high spirituality selected by Huang Ling could achieve something. Huang Ling gave 3 years. If the next few cultivators all worked hard, it would take 3 years. Then the time will be 3 years later. 3 years later we will fight. Tran Heng made the decision. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow left. He had just stopped cultivating and had not returned to his residence. In the time acceleration, he had not seen his family for 1,000 years. He missed them very much. In the residence, Night Sorrow only saw Lin Piaomiao. The rest of his family were in Night Moon Villa and Star Moon City. Night Sorrow and his family did not live much in Star Moon City. But the biggest residence in Star Moon City was the Night Residence. Usually, there were servants looking after it. Bringing Lin Piaomiao with him, he went to the God-slaying squad and called for Yang Lei, Qin Ji, and Sikong Chuyu. The group went to the Night Moon Mountain Villa and brought Mandela to Star Moon City. In Star Moon City, Night Sorrow saw a few children and Xiaogu. Zhang Yi was there too. Look at unspecified currency F, regular, edition D chapter #B$. After sitting down, Night Sorrow looked at his eldest daughter and asked, "Qingyan, are your senior brother and sister still in 9 Region City?" "Father, after you went into seclusion, senior brother and sister returned to Medicine Valley," Yi Qingyan said. Night Sorrow nodded. July was the peak lord of Taishin Peak. She was usually quite busy. "Father, we all miss you." Yi Xiaolei hugged Night Sorrow's shoulder and said, "You can really get tired of me." Yang Lei smiled. "Yes, we really miss you. Not counting the time acceleration during cultivation, we haven't seen you in 30 years. Yi Xiaolei did not let go of Night Sorrow. Instead, she hugged him even tighter. "It's my fault. I've only been focused on cultivation. I haven't guided or accompanied you in your cultivation for the past 30 years. Night Sorrow patted his daughter's shoulder and said. Yi Xiaolei and the others shook their heads. They all knew that their father was busy. They knew that it was not easy for him. "We won't stay in Star Moon City. I haven't seen your grandfather and grandmother in a long time. I wonder how your grandpa Gu is doing." Night Sorrow stood up and said. The group returned to 9 Regions World through the transportation array. During the journey, Sikong Chu told Night Sorrow that Grandpa Gu was doing well. He was now trying to break through to the mid-level King Realm. In 10,000 years, his chances of entering the King Realm were very high. After hearing Sikong Chu's words, Night Sorrow felt much more at ease. He had always been worried about Grandpa Gu. Yu Qing was overjoyed that her son had returned to Sky City. She immediately ordered a family banquet. Night Sorrow, his father, and Grandpa Gu went to the observation deck above the mansion to drink tea and chat. "Son, there is no strongest cultivator, only stronger. The road ahead is endless. Don't tire yourself out." Yi Wheel looked at Night Sorrow and said. His heart ached for his son. No matter how great his son's achievements were, he was still a child in his eyes. He still remembered the scene of Night Sorrow fighting against the various dynasties in Taiching Domain when he was young. "Father, don't worry. After some things are settled, I will return here and accompany you and Mother peacefully," Night Sorrow said. At this moment, Yi Qingyan brought some fruits over. "Father, I heard that Martial Uncle Qing Emperor got married again when I went to visit him. Should we send a congratulatory gift?" "Married again? We need to prepare a congratulatory gift. Which faction does the girl belong to?" Night Sorrow asked Yi Qingyan. Chapter 2198. You've never seen him before? Your martial uncle Qing Lin is quite capable. Although I haven't interacted much with him, I still have to prepare a gift. You can tell your mother what to give her. "I really don't know," said Yi Shang. "Okay, I'll tell my mother. I'll drink tea with father first." Yi Qingyan smiled and sat beside Night Sorrow. "Father, Xiaokei just went to kill a big snake. I'll roast it later." Yi Xiaokei also came to the observation deck. "Come sit beside Grandpa." Yi Weo waved his hand at his grandson. "You idiot! Don't you know that father won't kill for no reason? Why are you showing off in front of father?" Yi Qingyan glanced at Night Sorrow and said. She was worried that her father would be angry. She didn't want him to be unhappy at all. Night Sorrow shook his head. Cultivators have different thoughts at different times. It's right as long as it's suitable for the state of mind at that time. Take your father for example. When your father was young, I entered the Tao with the intention to fight. There was nothing that I couldn't fight, and my murderous nature was strong. At that time, this kind of mentality wasn't wrong. Later on, I achieved the body of merit and cultivated my virtue. Except for the necessary battles, I have always tried my best to reduce killing. I even gave up the hobby of hunting demonic beasts and eating roasted meat. Yi Qingyan and Yi Xiaokei didn't understand. Yi Weo was also very curious. Looking at the puzzled faces of the others, Night Sorrow expressed his feelings. He felt that the Tao was natural. Everything should go with the flow. If he deliberately pursued it, he would be at a disadvantage. As for killing, Night Sorrow's understanding was natural selection and survival of the fittest. This was also the reason why all races had to work hard. The Tao is natural? That's too vague. Yi Xiaokei rubbed his head and said, "You don't have to think about it. As your father, it's fine as long as it's suitable for your current state of mind." Night Sorrow waved his hand and let Yi Xiaokei sit down. Among his children, young Master Night Sorrow was the most honest. His style of doing things was also carefree. When he fought, he had a fierce aura. Night Sorrow felt that he was the most like him. On the other hand, Yi Yujun, Yi Xiaoluo, and Yi Lingxi were different. Yi Yujun was a very gentlemanly person. Back then, when he was despised for his proposal, he could still face it with a smile. Yi Xiaoluo had Xiao in her name, but her way of doing things was the most magnanimous. She had her own circle of friends in the celestial realm and had an extremely good reputation. On the other hand, Yi Lingxi was a bit of a loner. She did not interact much with others and always played by herself. I don't know about other things, but I do know about having a clear conscience. A man must be indomitable, and Xiao Ke can do that. Young Master Yi nodded. Our Xiao Ke is so generous. Let's go. The banquet is ready. If we don't call you, don't go down. Yu Qing had also arrived at the observation deck. She was extremely happy to hear Yi Shao's words. The Yi family's banquet was extremely lively. The children knew that the elders were people who did not adhere to the customs, so they were very open. Some things should be said, and some things should be said, and some things should be laughed. Lingxi, don't be too antisocial. It's not that being antisocial is bad, but antisocial people are definitely less happy. If you have nothing to do, you should interact more with your brother and sister and make more friends. If there's anything, you can also tell father. You can totally treat father as a friend. Night Sorrow said as he picked up some food for Yi Lingxi. But, Father, don't worry. Lingxi just feels that there are many times when my way of thinking is different from others. I have made friends before, but I want to train while they want to go fishing. We are not in the same world at all. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Yi Lingxi was very surprised and continued to explain. If you look at the problem from another angle, fishing is not a bad thing. It is also a training for one's temperament. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Lingxi understands. I won't let father worry in the future. Yi Lingxi stood up and bowed to Night Sorrow. Silly child, your father just wants you to live a happier life. I'm not asking you for anything. She pulled her son to sit down and said with a smile. Night Sorrow looked at the children and nodded. Father also doesn't know how to communicate with you. In fact, I just want you to live a happy life. I don't have any other requests. During the meal, the family ate happily and harmoniously. Night Sorrow also had a rare moment of relaxation. After the family banquet, the family gave Night Sorrow and his wives some space to be alone. Night Sorrow did not go anywhere. He took his wife out on the boat and went to the lake. After getting married, Qing Lin's life was very comfortable. The only regret was that he felt that his wife was a bit introverted. He mentioned several times that he wanted to see his parents, but Emo Xiaolon refused. Emo Xiaolon felt that she would be nervous. While Qing Lin was deep in thought, Qing Wan arrived at his residence. The tribe they lived in now was called Mohu tribe. It used to be called Chiho tribe because there was an emperor in this tribe. Because his surname was Qi, he was called Chiho. After Mo Yuqing led his people to occupy and rule this tribe, he changed the name to Mohu tribe. Mo and Mo are identical sounds. As for the people in the tribe, they were all controlled. Those who could come in contact with Qing Lin and Qing Wan were all controlled by the soul force of the Demon Wing clan cultivators. Some of the marginal people were either elders or children. They were imprisoned and killed if they disobeyed. Therefore, they were all ordered to live a normal life. Because Qing Lin and Qing Wan were strong, Mo Yufan, who showed a higher cultivation than them, was the appointed patriarch. He arranged the position of tribe protector and had a separate residence for them. Brother, what are you thinking about? Qing Wan sat down and asked. Your sister-in-law is too reserved. She doesn't dare to meet father and mother. You know, I used to marry for the sake of the descendants. I don't have feelings for her. So now I hope that Xiaolon can get along well with our family. Qing Lin sighed. QD? Head 0. That's it? Sister-in-law was born in Chiho tribe and doesn't communicate much with the outside world. So it's normal for her to feel some psychological pressure. She's also afraid that our parents will object and not like her. In fact, this also proves that she cares about you very much. Qing Wan said with a smile. She liked Mo Xiaolon more. In the experience, Mo Xiaolon had saved her life. Of course, only Mo Xiaolan and others knew the truth. She said that when she has time, she can secretly go to our chaos domain and familiarize herself with the local customs of our world. Maybe after understanding the chaos domain, she can slowly change her state of mind. Qing Lin said, "In marriage, we have to accommodate each other. We can't only have one side as the core. You can arrange whatever sister-in-law likes." Qing Wan said, "You're right. Maybe after understanding the chaos domain, her mentality can change. When we have time, I'll take her to the chaos domain." Qing Lin said. Chapter 2199. Qing Wan, I understand your thoughts. You can't compare everything. There is only one night sorrow in the world. Qing Lin looked at his sister and said, "I also understand what brother means. They are not bad, but I feel that there is a lack of feeling, or the aura and temperament are different. It's not that their temperament is not enough, I can't describe it." Qing Wan shook her head. Mo Yuqing, who was investigating all this, turned to look at Mo Yufan and Mo Fing. A woman's intuition is very scary. Don't have any ideas about this, Qing Wan. It's useless. You can't take her down at all. Mo Yuqing arranged two things, one on Qing Lin and the other on Qing Wan. Now she found that it was useless to have any ideas about Qing Wan. This was also a woman's straightforwardness. This bitch still looks down on us. If it wasn't because we have to endure, we would teach her a lesson now and then share her with our brothers. Mo Feiying scolded. He had an impulse when he saw Qing Wan, but Qing Wan did not give him a chance. Don't mess around, lest new problems arise. Now that the plan has entered an important stage, we must be careful. After Qing Lin and Qing Wan leave, except for the necessary members, the rest of the tribe will leave. We have to find another stronghold. Mo Yuqing said. Mo Yufan and Mo Fing both nodded. They knew that Mo Yuqing had a backup plan. Even if Mo Xiaolan failed, the loss of the team would not be too great. Waving her hand, Mo Yuqing let Mo Fing and Mo Feiqing make the arrangements. At the critical moment, she must be careful. After thinking for a moment, Mo Yuqing told Mo Xiaolan again. Mo Xiaolan withdrew from the state of cultivation and came to Qing Lin's side. "Qing Lin, are you unhappy? How about this? Let's go to the chaos domain. After I familiarize myself with the situation, I will go with you to see your family. How about that? I'm still a little nervous." "Okay, I'll listen to you," Qing Lin said while holding Mo Xiaolan's shoulder. "Your father is guarding Xingyue City. I'll go into your space magic treasure. I'm afraid of seeing him. Your father has been ruling the Qing Emperor's dynasty. He must be very scary," Mo Xiaolan said while leaning on Qing Lin's shoulder. "My father is very easygoing. However, if you don't want to meet him for the time being, then so be it. We'll set off tomorrow. Make some preparations and I'll bring you there," Qing Lin said with a smile. Mo Xiaolan was relieved. She was afraid that Qing Lin would not agree. If he agreed, then Dark Feather's plan would be half successful. Holding back her unwillingness, Mo Xiaolan kissed Qing Lin and went to prepare. "You can't do that. Hurry up." What was Mo Xiaolan preparing? Naturally, it was to prepare the next plan. Since Qing Lin had trusted her, then she would report to Dark Feather and see how he would arrange it. In fact, Mo Yuqing was very excited. She already knew when Qing Lin agreed. Her cultivation base was high, and she could observe everything without Qing Lin noticing. Even when Qing Lin and Mo Xiaolan were together, Mo Yuqing could clearly investigate. Dark Feather gathered all the members of the team whose original body and doppelganger were present, and then selected 10 original bodies to enter Mo Xiaolan's space magic treasure. Mo Feiying, who did not have a doppelganger, was among them. After entering the 9 domains world, he wanted to stay and develop. Mo Feiying intended to improve his cultivation base in the 9 domains world. Taking the space magic treasure and symbolically bringing some wine from the tribe, Mo Xiaolan informed Qing Lin that they were ready to set off at any time. At this time, Qing Lin was bidding farewell to Qing Wan. Qing Wan wanted to go to Tianhuang City and Chengdu City. Mo Yuqing, who had witnessed this scene, really did not want to let Qing Wan go, because she was a hostage. There was no reason for her to stay. Mo Yuqing could even understand why Qing Luan was in a hurry to leave. It was because she was disgusted with Mo Feng. When Mo Feng saw Qing Luan, he had an impulse. His eyes were like a beast in heat, extremely aggressive. Qing Luan, who had cultivated to the Lord of Heaven, was not a fool. She naturally understood the changes in Mo Feng's body and mind, so she was particularly disgusted. Therefore, she felt that she still preferred the aura of Night Sorrow and the God-slaying team. It could be said that there was a difference in human nature. After sending Qing Luan away, Qin Lin and Mo Xiaolan set off. He did not know what this trip represented. Dark Feiqing did not follow, because the defense near Xingyue City was too tight. If she followed, it would be easy for her to ruin things. Qin Lin was not in a hurry. He took Mo Xiaolan on a scenic tour, and at the same time constantly told Mo Xiaolan about the situation of the Chaos Domain. You mean the Chaos Domain used to be a group of 3 major worlds, and the 9 Domains world was a small world. In 1,000 years, the level of the 9 Domains world surpassed the 3 major worlds and became the core of the Chaos Domain? Mo Xiaolan asked. She knew a little, but was not very clear about the relationship between the 9 Domains world and the Chaos Domain. Yes, the 9 Domains world is the core of the Chaos Domain. The Realm Lord of the 9 Domains world, our junior brother Night Sorrow, is also the Domain Lord of the Chaos Domain. In addition, from the Celestial Realm to the Chaos Domain, one must first pass through the 9 Domains world, and then through the main transmission array of the 9 Domains world. Qing Lin said with a smile. Speaking of the Chaos Domain, the 9 Domains world and Night Sorrow, Qing Lin was full of pride. The 9 Domains world is good. When we were training, we heard about the 9 Domains world more than once, saying that it is a new supreme world. Let's go and have a look, Mo Xiaolan said with a smile. Okay, I'll listen to you. Qing Lin nodded. Hearing Qing Lin's words, Mo Xiaolan was very excited, because this represented that the opportunity had come. Dark Feiqing was also very excited after hearing Mo Xiaolan's report. She left a few members of the Demon Wing clan to clean up the Chiho tribe, and led her subordinates to move. To them, the Chiho tribe was just a cover for their identity in front of Qing Lin and Qing Luan. Now, it was not very useful. As for the future, when Qing Lin and Qing Luan asked about it, the answer was very simple. When they went out to train, the Chiho tribe was attacked. Except for the group of people who went out to train, the rest were killed. Along the way, Qing Lin and Mo Xiaolan talked and laughed, but Mo Xiaolan deliberately avoided the big cities. She was worried that the experts in the big cities would discover her aura. Heaven Monarch Qing Lin's cultivation was trash in her eyes, but she was afraid of high-level Emperor Tribulation and Emperor Tribulation cultivators. Then she would sense their aura and it would be easy for problems to arise. She hid her cultivation just to scare Qing Lin and Qing Luan. As they got closer and closer to the Star Moon City, Mo Xiaolan felt inexplicably nervous. If she succeeded, then she would have done a great service to the Devil-Winged clan. She spoke to Qing Lin before entering Qing Lin's space-type artifact. In the 9 Regions world, Yi Shang had come out of seclusion. Just as he was about to go investigate, Mo Tianji also came out of seclusion. The two of them were drinking tea in Qin Chen's tea house. Yi Shang smiled and said that the Demon Wing clan's tea tasted terrible. Chapter 2200. Then shouldn't we be glad? If you like that kind of tea ceremony, we can sit together and you can drink yours and I'll drink mine. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Good things will always be accepted. It is a fact that the tea ceremony of the 100 races in the celestial realm is much more advanced than that of the demon-winged race. I liked it after coming into contact with it. However, I can't tell the demon-winged race how good the tea ceremony of the celestial realm is, right? Moreover, I didn't pay much attention to this kind of culture back then. After all, it is not a cultivation heritage. Besides, the demon-winged race has never been to the celestial realm and have never come into contact with the tea ceremony of the 100 races in the celestial realm. Mo Tianji pointed out the key issue. Night Sorrow nodded. After hearing Mo Tianji's words, Night Sorrow knew the key issue. The two chatted with tacit understanding. Mo Tianji didn't ask what Night Sorrow did in the demon-winged race's territory, and Night Sorrow didn't ask about the situation in the demon imperial city. They respected each other and didn't want to make things difficult for each other. Tianji, let me tell you something else. Think about it. Do you know anything about the ancient world? If you are interested and can represent the 9-domain world, I can bring you along. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said, Mo Tianji had sworn not to harm the celestial realm and the 9-domain world, so he wasn't worried. I know, but I don't know much about it. I only read about it in the history books. Do you have any information about the ancient world? Have you obtained any heritage? After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Mo Tianji was very interested. We have some information. As for the heritage, only Tran Hung has some. In 3 years, we will go to the ancient world. Night Sorrow said, You don't need to ask me about this. Other than the war with the demon-winged race, I am a citizen of the 9-domain world. Moreover, even if there is a war between the demon-winged race and the 9-domain world, I will be fighting for the 9-domain world. You know this. So, if there is a war, just call me. Mo Tianji explained her point of view. She was willing to fight for the 9-domain world. This was her opinion. She liked the people of the 9-domain world and the local customs. Awesome. I like your generosity. Night Sorrow poured Mo Tianji a cup of tea and told her about the world tree. After hearing about the ancient world and the world tree, Mo Tianji was shocked. Night Sorrow, the world tree is incredible. If you can bring it to the 9-domain world, the 9-domain world will develop even better. I'm afraid that's not possible. Even if we get the world tree, we need it to maintain the celestial realm's origin energy so that the celestial realm won't be destroyed. Night Sorrow shook his head. He wasn't a selfish person. Then you should also request that the world tree be placed in Star Moon City so that the 2 worlds can share it, said Mo Tianji. She was now considering everything for the 9 regions world. That's possible, but we need to solve the problem first. The world tree doesn't allow anyone to get close to it. We can only deal with Da and Ling, Night Sorrow said. The world tree is pure and holy by nature. She will approve of Da and Ling. Also, spirituality. Only those with high spirituality and chastity can get close to it. Mo Tianji said something that Night Sorrow didn't understand. Who knows if the Ice Phoenix clan's women are chastity? I can't ask that. I'll talk to Ling Huang later. Night Sorrow was a bit conflicted. He had never met the people that Huang Ling had arranged. As for Wu Lingfei, he didn't know either. Before he met Wu Lingfei, she had already achieved a lot in the 9-domain world. She had lived there for hundreds of years. Night Sorrow didn't know if she had a romantic life in those hundreds of years. If they can't do it, I'll give it a try. My spirituality shouldn't be too bad either. Mo Tianji said with a smile. Night Sorrow looked up at Mo Tianji. What are you looking at? Who do you think I am? A woman like Jun Xuanji, who can't even walk or close her legs when she sees a man. I used to be the holy ancestor of the demon-winged clan. Naturally, I have to respect myself. Mo Tianji couldn't stand being stared at by Night Sorrow even though she had the mentality of someone who could dominate the world. At the same time, she also attacked Jun Xuanji. The moment Jun Xuanji unsealed his soul, Jun Xuanji's memories were connected to hers. Naturally, she knew that Jun Xuanji had drugged Night Sorrow. Don't get too excited, Night Sorrow said with a smile. I'm not excited. It's just that your eyes just now. Mo Tianji shook her head. I'm very impressed. 9 eras is too long. It's very rare to be able to protect your body and heart under such complicated circumstances, Night Sorrow said. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Mo Tianji smiled. Without women, you probably wouldn't have been able to survive an era. Night Sorrow didn't mind Mo Tianji's joke at all. Then, the two returned to the main topic. Mo Tianji told Night Sorrow what she knew about the ancient world so that he could learn more about it. While the two were talking, Qing Lin brought Mo Xiaolan's spatial treasure to Xingyue City to visit his father. His mother, Misty Rain, was in the world of reincarnation. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. Qing Lin explained to the Qing Emperor why Mo Xiaolan didn't come to visit him. Make the arrangements. I don't mind, but your mother is someone who values these things, the Qing Emperor said. Qing Lin understands. I will settle these things as soon as possible. Now, I plan to take a walk in the nine-domain world and then return to the Qing Emperor's dynasty to visit my mother, Qing Lin said with a bow. Under the Azure Emperor's request, the way the Azure Emperor and his family addressed each other was changed. They no longer addressed each other as father and mother. Because the Night Moon Empire was so powerful, even the Yi family did not have such a form. The Azure Emperor felt that he had been a frog in a well before, and it was not good to use those titles anymore. Now, only Qing Lin and Qing Wan still addressed each other that way. All right, go ahead. The Qing Emperor nodded. His children had their own lives, so he didn't restrict them. Qing Lin took the teleportation formation to the nine-domain world. Just as he was thinking about returning to the nine-domain world or visiting his mother in the world of reincarnation, a woman in a white dress and holding a long sword appeared in front of him. This woman was none other than Mo Tianji, who was drinking tea with Night Sorrow. I am Qing Lin from the Qing Emperor's dynasty. I am Night Sorrow's senior brother. Qing Lin reported his identity when he was stopped. Mo Tianji didn't say anything. She just frowned at Qing Lin. At this moment, Night Sorrow also arrived. Senior brother, I heard that you got married. I haven't received my gift yet. There's no need to be so courteous between us. I'll go pay my respects to my mother first. I'll come back later to drink with you. Qing Lin smiled. He knew from Yi Shang's attitude that fellow disciples were not estranged from each other. All right, I will follow your arrangements. I will stay in the nine-domain world for a while, Night Sorrow said. After Qing Lin took a few steps forward, he was stopped by Mo Tianji again. Chapter 2201. Tianji, he is my senior brother. How could I be wrong? Night Sorrow smiled. I know he is your senior brother, but there is something wrong with him. I didn't understand earlier, but when I heard that he was married, I understood. His body has the unique aura of a Demon Wing Clan woman, which means he married a Demon Wing Clan woman. Mo Tianji's aura exploded and enveloped Qing Lin's surroundings. She also used her energy to cover all of Qing Lin's spatial treasures. When Qing Lin walked out of the teleportation array, Mo Tianji felt something was wrong, but she couldn't figure it out. After listening to Night Sorrow and Qing Lin's conversation, Mo Tianji understood that Qing Lin's aura was because he often had sex with a Demon Wing Clan woman. Senior brother, what is going on? Night Sorrow looked at Qing Lin and asked. He knew Mo Tianji wouldn't be wrong. I don't know. Qing Lin's heart shook. I don't care what relationship you have with the Demon Wing Clan, but if you want to enter the nine-domain world, then I have to check your spatial treasures. Night Sorrow, this is what I promised you. You have to protect the nine-domain world. Mo Tianji looked at Night Sorrow. Senior brother, are there any other life forms in your spatial treasure? Night Sorrow knew the severity of the situation. Yes, but listen to me. Your sister-in-law is afraid that we will reject her primitive tribe, so I used my spatial treasure to bring her here to familiarize herself with our world. Junior brother, don't make things difficult for her. Qing Lin explained. Sai. Monarch Yun, go to Xingyue City and ask my master to come over. Night Sorrow sighed helplessly. Actually, he didn't need to check. Night Sorrow already knew that Mo Tianji was right. Junior brother, don't inform father. I will ask your sister-in-law to come out and verify it. Qing Lin anxiously stopped Yun Tianlong from entering the teleportation array. Senior brother, I am not making things difficult for you. Can you and sister-in-law cooperate? We cannot lose the nine-domain world and the primal chaos realm. Night Sorrow looked at Qing Lin and said. Qing Lin nodded. He understood that Night Sorrow had no intention of making things difficult for him. Intercepting him was not arranged by Night Sorrow. Qing Lin's soul power revolved and sent Mo Shaolon out of the spatial treasure. Before Mo Shaolon could see what was going on, Mo Tianji grabbed her with her left hand and pulled her to the ground. Do you know me? Venerable ancestor. Mo Shaolon was shocked to see Mo Tianji. She didn't know what was going on. She knew Mo Tianji, But she didn't know why Mo Tianji was here. Mo Zhantian still didn't listen to me. I've said it before. He can do whatever he wants in the celestial realm, but he can't have any ideas about the 9 domains world. Why must you challenge my bottom line? Must we meet on the battlefield? Mo Tianji sighed. Divine Ancestor, I don't understand. Mo Xiaolan looked around. She really didn't understand what was going on. Mo Tianji's words also confused her. This is your true body. You still have a clone. Send a message back to Mo Zhantian. Tell him to stop having any ideas about the 9 domains world. As for your people, don't go back. Treat it as a warning to Mo Zhantian and let him know that the boundary between us exists. Mo Tianji shook her arm and knocked Mo Xiaolan unconscious. She then looked at Night Sorrow and Qing Lin. How could Qing Lin not understand? His wife of 30 years, who had been whispering sweet nothings to each other just a moment ago, was actually from the Demon Wing clan and had been using him. Mo Tianji took Mo Xiaolan's storage ring and spatial treasure with her left hand. Then, with a burst of energy, she destroyed everything. She didn't want to see who was inside the spatial treasure. She just wanted to tell the Demon Wing clan not to come again. If they did, she would kill them. Night Sorrow, interrogation is useless. The members of the Demon Wing clan are all elites. They won't give you a chance to investigate. Mo Tianji looked at Night Sorrow and said, Senior brother, you married a woman with 7 Emperor Tribulation cultivation. Didn't you think there would be a problem? Night Sorrow smiled bitterly. He knew that this was a big blow to Qing Lin. Qing Luan and I have been training with them for 30 years. I didn't expect it to be a trap. They were using us. Qing Lin said bitterly, Senior brother, this woman is your wife. What do you plan to do with her? Besides, she still has a clone. The most important thing now is Qing Luan's safety. Night Sorrow said, Qing Luan is fine. I sent her away first. She wants to go to the desolate Heaven City and the Divine Capital City. She didn't want to stay in the tribe. This woman, I have something to ask her. Can I? Qing Lin looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow nodded at Mo Tianji. Mo Tianji's arm shook and woke Mo Xiaolan up. After waking up, Mo Xiaolan looked at Mo Tianji with eyes full of disbelief. Mo Tianji was a figure of faith in the Demon Wing clan. 30 years ago, I told Mo Zhantian that I had nothing to do with the Demon Wing clan. I wanted to live in the 9-domain world and the Demon Wing clan shouldn't disturb me. But you still came. Whether you live or die is your fate. Mo Tianji said, It's not shameful for my plan to be exposed in front of you. Mo Xiaolan now understood that Mo Tianji was no longer the divine ancestor she knew. Xiaolan, you've been using me, right? Qing Lin's voice trembled. That's right. Who do you think you are? Every time I'm with you, I'm like a dead person. I've blocked my own feelings. You're just a piece of trash. Do you understand? Mo Xiaolan looked at Qing Lin with eyes full of disdain. Qing Lin was used by the enemy and almost made a big mistake. Please punish me. I won't complain. After confirming some things, Qing Lin knelt on one knee before Night Sorrow to accept his punishment. Senior brother, get up first. You made an unintentional mistake. They planned for 30 years and used 30 years to plot against you. It would be hard for anyone to guard against them. Nothing major has happened yet. King Yun, please take my senior brother to rest first. Yi Shang said to Yun Tianlong, who had been standing to the side. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. Qing Lin and Yun Tianlong left. When Mo Xiaolan said those words, Qing Lin knew that the past 30 years were fake. Everything was over. Don't expect to get anything from me. Don't expect to get any information from that piece of trash. Our team is already prepared for failure. Mo Xiaolan smiled. I don't expect to get anything. I'm not afraid of your attack. Since that's the case, there's no need to keep you alive. Night Sorrow turned and entered the Sky Ceiling Palace. His battle doppelganger rushed to the teleportation array. He wanted to find Qing Luan. He was worried about her safety. As for Mo Xiaolan, he didn't need to care about her. Chapter 2202. You're a traitor of the Demon Wing clan. Mo Xiaolan shouted as she watched Mo Tianji leave. Mo Tianji turned around and swung her arm, slapping Mo Xiaolan across the face. You think you have the right to judge me? Who do you think you are? Without me, the Demon Wing clan had no other living space apart from the Demon Imperial City. Do you think you can still jump around today? It's true that I'm no longer in the Demon Wing clan, but as long as the Demon Wing clan doesn't touch my bottom line, I won't harm the Demon Wing clan. So, you better swallow the word, traitor. Tai Shu Yen didn't give Mo Xiaolan a chance to speak and dragged her away. Mo Xiaolan was sealed by Mo Tianji, so she couldn't do anything. When Yi Shang saw Qing Wan in the divine capital, he let out a sigh of relief. He was afraid that something would happen to Qing Wan. If that happened, he would have to hold back. After finding Qing Wan, Night Sorrow brought Qing Wan back to the Star Moon City. The two of them went to see the Qing Emperor. Night Sorrow told the Qing Emperor and Qing Wan about what happened in the Nine Regions world. He wasn't complaining about Qing Lin. He wanted the Qing Emperor and Qing Wan to know the truth so that he could persuade Qing Lin. Night Sorrow knew that Qing Lin had suffered a big blow this time. It could be seen from Qing Lin's tolerance of Mo Xiaolan. Using 30 years to plan one thing. They also put in a lot of effort. This loss is not undeserved. The Qing Emperor sighed. No wonder I felt that their auras were strange. So they were from the Demon Wing clan. Qing Wan said with some emotion. It's good that they were exposed early. We'll be prepared. If they really sneak into the Nine Regions world, we'll be in trouble. The Qing Emperor said. Night Sorrow nodded. He also understood that it was good that they were exposed early. If they weren't discovered, it would be difficult to deal with them when the Demon Wing clan matured. After chatting for a while, the Qing Emperor and Qing Wan followed Night Sorrow to the Nine Regions world. They wanted to see Qing Lin. The Qing Emperor and Qing Wan went to find Qing Lin first. Night Sorrow went to the Origin Enlightened Treasure Tower. Heavenly Concubine, I want to see you. At this time, an energy appeared beside Night and pulled Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow didn't resist and entered the Origin Enlightened Tower. He wasn't worried. First, Mo Tianji swore an oath couldn't hurt him. Also, she couldn't hurt him. This was the Nine Regions world. He could control the sealed heaven palace. He could control the world. Unsealed. Origin Enlightened Treasure Pavilion was very extravagant. Women generally cared about the quality of life. Are you angry? Yi Shang smiled and sat across from Mo Tianji, sitting on the luxurious soft chair. I'm a little angry. She actually called me a traitor? There's something wrong with your head. Mo Tianji's face was frosty. She was really angry. And Night Sorrow said with a smile. Knowing is one thing. I can control my emotions, but it will affect my mood. How can I be happy? Mo Tianji shook her head. Yi Shang glanced at Mo Tianji's Origin Enlightened Treasure Pagoda and took out a Dragon Eye Night Pearl he had obtained from the broken body of an ice dragon in the Ice Dragon realm. If you put this in your space, it will be much brighter. Although it's ordinary, your intention is good. You know how to coax people. My mood is much better. Mo Tianji said. Heavenly Concubine, I owe you a big favor. I will remember this. Night Sorrow looked at Mo Tianji seriously. Forget about the favor. You want me to be the guardian of the Nine Regions world. I have to do my duty, right? Also, when I need help, I'm sure you can help me. You're willing to tell me about the ancient world and bring me along. This proves everything. The coldness on Mo Tianji's face lessened because her heart was warm. Yes, we are friends. When something good happens, I will think of you. When I need help, I will also think of you. Night Sorrow nodded. Mo Tianji glanced at Night Sorrow and said, Then it's settled. Now, I have really fallen out with the Devil Wing clan. You should feel more at ease. Why should I feel more at ease? I was worried that you would feel sad. That's why I came to see you. Night Sorrow looked at Mo Tianji with a bit of disdain. He helplessly revealed his true intentions. Mo Tianji didn't have any knot in her heart. The two of them talked about the aftermath of this matter. Mo Tianji was the one who brought it up. Mo Tianji felt that it wasn't realistic to find the Devil Wing clan immediately. The Devil Wing clan must have a backup plan. They probably ran away and hid. Night Sorrow also expressed his worries. He was worried that the Devil Wing clan would set up a teleportation array in the celestial realm. The Devil Wing clan would rush over endlessly. Heaven Huang and the celestial realm are separated by the Nirvana Ocean. The distance is huge. If there isn't a support point, it won't be possible to teleport. Unless Mo Zhantian can find a support point for the teleportation array. However, this is very difficult. The possibility of finding a support point in the Nirvana Ocean is extremely low. Mo Tianji said, Reincarnation Island can be a support point in the Nirvana Ocean. However, with the Grand Elder guarding it, I don't know about other places. Night Sorrow said, since they made this plan, they must have a plan. As for what it is, it's hard to tell. Mo Tianji said, since they were already opposing each other, she didn't have any psychological burden. Later, I'll go to the celestial realm to make arrangements. Since we know we'll have to deal with it. Night Sorrow nodded. Based on the current situation, they should be planning for the long term. After all, Mo Zhantian is severely injured. Mo Yutian needs to increase his cultivation. He won't be able to fight. Mo Tianji said after thinking for a while. After chatting with Mo Tianji for a while, Night Sorrow saw that she was in a good mood. He went to the biggest inn in the 9-region city to find Qing Emperor and his family. Qing Lin was dispirited. As a cultivator, he had a strong will. However, this incident had a huge impact on him. Seeing Night Sorrow arrive, Qing Emperor and the others invited Night Sorrow to take a seat. Night Sorrow, my brother and I didn't think this through. We almost caused a disaster. We don't have the ability to bear the responsibility. However, we can bear the responsibility. We will accept the punishment. Qing Luan said. Now isn't the time to find out who is responsible. It's nothing. Night Sorrow said. First VF release, Junior Brother, don't say that. If Lord Protector hadn't discovered it in time, the consequences would have been severe. I will accept any punishment without any complaints. As the Domain Lord, you have to deal with this matter no matter what. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to manage others in the future. Qing Lin raised his head and sighed. Chapter 2203. It's your first mistake, and it's an unintentional one. Senior brother Qing Lin and senior sister Qing Wan will cooperate with the Tianhuang city's people to clean up the mess. Then, go to the Heaven Sealing Palace and reflect on your mistakes for 100 years. Night Sorrow made his decision after thinking for a while. Thus, Qing Lin accepts the punishment. Qing Lin cupped his hands towards Night Sorrow. He knew that this was a very light punishment. Junior brother, I'm fine? Qing Wan looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow smiled. Senior sister didn't do anything wrong. This time, senior brother was wrong for hiding from the guards of the teleportation array and bringing people into the 9-domain world without permission. You didn't do anything wrong in other places either. Who could resist being cheated? Who would want to be cheated? But I'm still waiting to be punished. It's better if you don't. Qing Wan said. At the same time, her thoughts drifted. At this moment, she understood that this was the difference between Night Sorrow and the Demon-Winged clan. Night Sorrow's smile was as warm as the spring breeze. It was as if no difficulties were a problem. Master, I'm sorry. Night Sorrow said to Qing Emperor. Qing Emperor patted Night Sorrow's shoulder. Why are you saying this to me? You didn't do anything wrong. Even if you don't deal with it, I will. If that happens, I won't be able to explain myself for 100 years. After saying goodbye to Qing Emperor, Night Sorrow took Qing Lin and Qing Wan to the Tianhuang city through the teleportation array. Then he called for a meeting of elders. Night Sorrow called for a meeting of elders for the first time. Almost all of the elders in the Tianhuang city came. Standing up, Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards the elders who came. Then, he told them about this incident and asked them to discuss how to deal with the aftermath. It seems that Mo Zhantian left some hidden bombs behind last time. Now that the bombs have exploded ahead of time, we naturally can't let them lie there peacefully. Next, I will order the God Castle to put up a reward. Let's not talk about whether we can dig them out, but at least we can't let them live peacefully. Lin Piaomiao said. I will bring people to that tribe to see if we can find any clues. Emperor Tang stood up and accepted the order. Zhai Xing Elder, cooperate with Emperor Tang and bring some diviners there. Even if they have a treasure to prevent divination, they won't be together. If we catch them, we can kill them. Night Sorrow Elder Zhai Xing said to Zhai Xing Zhai Elder. Zhai Xing, Zhai Sect Elder also accepted the order. Night Sorrow pondered for a moment before saying, also, send 2 troops of the Heaven Wasteland Army to scout around the Nirvana Ocean and see if there's anything amiss. The rest of the Heaven Wasteland Army will directly cross the Nirvana Ocean Bridge and set up camp near the Nirvana Ocean Bridge to see if there's any place that the Demon Winged Race can use to set up a teleportation formation. Pu Luo will be the commander. Great Demon King, you and Qing Luan will follow me later. After Night Sorrow gave the order, everyone went to carry it out. Night Sorrow asked Qing Lin to follow Emperor Tang to investigate the Chiho tribe and look for clues. He brought the Great Demon King and Qing Luan to the First Army's encampment and gathered the members of the First Army and the God-slaying team. It's time for you guys to take action. The Demon Wing clan has appeared in our celestial realm. We must hunt them down. Great Demon King, you lead the team, Night Sorrow said to Great Demon King, Long Jin, and Tianyu. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. At this time, in the Demon Imperial City, Mo Yuqing and Mo Zhantian explained the situation. Mo Xiaolan's original body was destroyed, but her doppelganger was by her side, so Mo Yuqing was fully aware of the situation. One wrong step led to many wrong steps. I didn't expect the heavenly concubine to shed all pretense of cordiality with us. Mo Zhantian was very annoyed because the plan that was about to succeed had failed again. Yuqing didn't expect that she would be able to detect Mo Xiaolan's aura from Qing Lin. Mo Yuqing was also very regretful. If she had expected this, she would have arranged for Qing Lin and Mo Xiaolan to follow Qing Luan. Although it would be troublesome, there would still be a chance. Now, there was no chance at all. This is fate. How is your team hiding? Although you have a treasure that can prevent divination, you still have to be careful. Wait for a little while and destroy the 10 original bodies. Only by sending out the clansmen of the doppelganger to stir up the water will the rest of you be truly safe and can proceed to the next step of development, Mo Zhantian said. Mo Zhantian said. He knew that he couldn't blame anyone for this failure. Relatively speaking, Mo Yuqing's plan was very thorough. He didn't mention Mo Tianji's matter because he didn't want to cause panic, but there was still a problem. Yuqing will arrange it well. Please rest assured, Divine Ancestor. In addition, Mo Fei's original body followed Mo Xiaolan and the others into the 9 domains world and has already fallen. Mo Yuqing said. She could not say anything about the others, but Mo Fei was a key figure in the Demon Wing clan. He was from the Immortal tribe and was a descendant of Mo Yutian. It's nothing. I will tell Lord Yutian about this matter. Mo Yutian shook his head at Mo Yuqing. He did not want this matter to become pressure for Mo Yuqing. Mo Yuqing did not say anything else. Her doppelganger was still handling things. The cultivators of the celestial realm began to move. Everyone knew that the Demon Wing clan had sneaked into the celestial realm. Now they had to work hard to dig them out. Night Sorrow rushed towards the heavenly desolate mountain. He did not want to bring anyone with him, but Lin Piaomiao was worried. In addition, Datura, who was staying in the mansion, also followed. The 3 of them carefully investigated the area of the heavenly desolate mountain. The 3 of them found that other than demonic beasts, there were no cultivators of the Demon Wing clan. Sister Xianer, it seems like the Demon Wing clan is planting a long line. There is no trace of movement, Night Sorrow said. Lin Piaomiao nodded. We can only dig out their spies from the celestial realm. There is no other way. In order to ensure the safety of the Heaven Wasteland Army at the border of the Nirvana Ocean, Night Sorrow and his 2 wives stayed in the stronghold of the heavenly desolate mountain for a month. A month later, Knight Sorrow brought his 2 wives to the command tent of the Heaven Wasteland Army at the bridge of the Nirvana Ocean. Alliance Head, we have searched for a month and did not find anything. We also did not see any members of the Demon Wing clan. We do not know what they are up to. Pu Luo said. They are planting a long line. I am worried that they have already set up the transfer array. Who knows when the Demon Wing clan would appear in the hinterland of the Celestial Realm? That would be troublesome. Knight Sorrow said. Actually, it is not that troublesome. They only have 2 big shots now. So what if they enter the Celestial Realm? Won't they still be chased? They can't afford to fight us head-on. We are not afraid. Pu Luo said. That is true. Other than the Demon Imperial City, the Demon Wing clan cannot afford to fight us. Knight Sorrow heard Pu Luo's words and felt much more relaxed. Chapter 2204. Knight Sorrow found that his idea had always been to defend. Defense was necessary, but a head-on battle was not impossible. If the Demon-Winged clan dared to enter the Celestial Realm, then he could cut off the Demon-Winged clan's retreat. Since we can't find anything, let's retreat. If they dare to come, then we dare to fight. Apart from the Demon Imperial City's defense, they are not strong enough to fight a head-on battle, Knight Sorrow said to Pu Luo and Lin Piaomiao. Then Knight Sorrow left first. The Celestial Realm would be a battlefield in the future, and he had the awareness and plan to fight. However, Knight Sorrow would never let the flames of war spread easily in the 9 Domains world. Some problems should be solved if possible. Knight Sorrow returned to Star Moon City and asked the clones of Qinglin and Qingwan about the situation of their 2 teams. Then Knight Sorrow learned that the Chiho tribe had been completely destroyed. When Qinglin and Emperor Tang arrived, there was not a single person left alive in the Chiho tribe. According to the divination of the divination master brought by Elder Zhai Xing, Emperor Tang and his men chased down and killed 2 members of the Demon-Winged clan who were alone. According to Qinglin, the Demon-Winged clan should have sent a large number of people this time, and not just a few. Then continue to kill. It's not something to be anxious about. Knight Sorrow was open-minded. If there were troublemakers, then kill them slowly. The Demon-Winged clan did not have the ability to subvert the Celestial Realm at present. Knight Sorrow withdrew the large group of people from Heaven Wasteland, but the elimination of the Demon-Winged clan within the Celestial Realm continued. Several Supreme Elders and Emperor Tribulation Elders of the Council of Elders followed the team to ensure the safety of the team. Mo Yuqing brought the majority of the team into a cave in a mountain using a space treasure, so that they could avoid some divination. Even if they were divined, the surroundings were dark mountain walls, and there was no reference to determine the location, so they could not be found. From today onwards, without new orders, don't move, Mo Yuqing said. Dark Feather said. She knew very well that now that their plan had been exposed, the movements of the Heavenly Concubine 100 races must be very big, and they would even capture them at all costs. Knight Sorrow took the teleportation formation to Shindu City after the troops had returned to Shindu City. This time, he did not go to the Humanitarian League headquarters. Instead, he went directly to Yawu Mountain. He wanted to see King Yawu and exchange ideas with him. Fen Tian was not in the Yawu Mountain, and the only one who could cultivate in the Yawu Mountain for a long period of time was Knight Sorrow. King Yawu, who was meditating, opened his eyes and nodded at Knight Sorrow. Have a seat. Is there something troubling you? King Yawu gestured for Knight Sorrow to sit down. He knew that Tran Hung and the Grand Elder were not in Tianhuang City. Knight Sorrow was in charge of everything. Knight Sorrow shook his head and told him about what had happened recently. He also talked about his views on the future situation. You're right to change your thinking. We can't dig a dead end. Since we can't dig them out, then let's not dig them out. If you want to fight, we'll accompany you at any time. We can't take down the Demon Imperial City, but we're not afraid of them attacking. Last time, Mo Zhantian burned the power of faith. What will he burn next time? King Yawu smiled. It's good that Martial Uncle thinks there's no problem. The Celestial Realm is so big. It's too difficult to dig out hidden spies. I don't have a choice. Night Sorrow explained the root cause of his change of thinking. Let nature take its course. There's no need to make a big fuss. In addition, it's a good thing that Mo Tianji is willing to sincerely contribute to the 9-domain world. With her helping you guard the 9-domain world, it's unrealistic for anyone to break in. King Yowu was also happy because Night Sorrow had a great helper. Night Sorrow and King Yowu drank a pot of tea and exchanged views on the general situation. King Yowu told Night Sorrow not to worry. Even if the Demon Wing clan entered the celestial realm, they would not dare to show off. They were weaker than the 100 races of the celestial realm. If they really fought, they would be at a disadvantage. Besides, with the 9-domain world and the realm of chaos as their backing, the 100 races of the celestial realm were not afraid to fight. After receiving King Yowu's affirmation, Night Sorrow felt a lot more relaxed. He knew his thinking was right, but he still needed others to support him. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow left 2 jars of wine for King Yowu and was about to leave. Don't worry and do it boldly. Whether it's Martial Uncle, the City Lord of Heavenly Baron, or the Grand Elder, they all support you. No one else will oppose your decision. If there's anything, just tell Martial Uncle. This is Martial Uncle's soul crystal. Leave yours too, King Yowu said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow took King Yowu's soul crystal and left his own before leaving Yowu Mountain. Seeing Night Sorrow leave, King Yowu nodded with satisfaction. He knew that Night Sorrow had a strong ability to control the situation. He could also convince the people, so he was not worried. He was not the only one who was not worried. Tran Hung and the Grand Elder were also not worried. That was why they left Heavenly Baron City and the Council of Elders to Night Sorrow. After leaving God's capital and arriving at Heavenly Baron City, Night Sorrow told Lin Piaomiao, the Great Demon King, and the Grand Elders of the Council of Elders about his idea. It was a future strategy. The Golden Dragon King, Huang Ling, and the others were all supportive. The White Tiger Patriarch, whom Night Sorrow had never seen before, was also supportive. The White Tigers loved to fight and were never afraid of battles. I've never seen Patriarch Lin before. Thank you for your approval of this tactic, Yi Shang said to the White Tiger Patriarch Lin Yuanjun. $, young city lord, you're too polite. Although I've never talked to you before, I know what you're doing. I also want to thank you for taking care of Lin Chuan, Patriarch Lin Yuanjun, who looked majestic and had a strong body, said. Patriarch Lin, you're too kind. Lin Chuan and I are friends and brothers. We've grown up together and worked hard together, Night Sorrow said. Young city lord, you're too polite. If there's a battle in the future, just let me know. I and the White Tigers have never been stingy in contributing to the celestial realm. We're never afraid of battles, Patriarch Lin Yuanjun said. Night Sorrow stood up and cupped his hands at Patriarch Lin Yuanjun. I can't represent too many people, but I still want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. If we work together, there's nothing we can't do. Young City Lord, you can now represent Heavenly Baron City, God's Martial City, and the Council of Elders. Don't be too humble, Huang Ling said with a smile. Night Sorrow is still young. I still need your support in some matters. Night Sorrow nodded at them. Night Sorrow, there's one more thing. The Heavens Vault tribe is in a bit of a mess now. Should we let someone take over? Lin Piaomiao looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow slapped his forehead. This is all my fault. The Heavens Vault tribe's high priest is involved in my past karma. Besides, he's also notorious, so I arranged for someone to deal with him. I didn't expect the situation in the Heavens Vault tribe's territory. Which force is the Heavens Vault tribe closest to? Chapter 2205. 2 grudges, I guess. One is because of the inheritance of my cultivation technique, and the other is that he also had a conflict with me. Night Sorrow explained the dispute between him and the Heaven High Priest. The Heaven Vault tribe's development model is wrong. It's fine if they don't bully someone ruthless, but they're unlucky if they kick an iron plate. The young city lord is that iron plate. Emperor Tang shook his head. He could only say that the Heaven Vault High Priest was unlucky. There was probably no iron plate harder than Night Sorrow in the celestial realm. The grudge between me and him is nothing, but I cultivated the cultivation technique of the heaven monarch from the chaotic realm, so I have to help resolve the grudge of his death. Otherwise, I'll always feel guilty, Night Sorrow said. The young city lord's actions are understandable. If he didn't do it, he wouldn't have died. He asked for it. That territory is closer to the Ice Phoenix tribe. Does anyone want it? If no one wants it, the Ice Phoenix tribe will take it, Huang Ling said. Huang Ling spoke, but no one else said anything. What do you think, young city lord? Huang Ling looked at Night Sorrow and asked. The Ice Phoenix tribe can take it, but I hope that the Ice Phoenix tribe can be more lenient to the people of the Heaven Vault tribe. Whether they live well is actually my karma. Night Sorrow looked at Huang Ling and said. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Huang Ling promised that the Heaven Vault tribe would be governed by virtue. Wu Lingfei would arrange the specific matters. You know our daughter. You can rest assured now. The Heavenly Astral King said with a smile. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation, thank you, Spirit Emperor and Heavenly Astral King. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at the two of them. Night Sorrow chatted with the group for a while and then left. He didn't want to disturb old friends from catching up. Origin Lord, what do you think? The Golden Dragon King asked the White Tiger Tribe leader, Lin Yuanjun. He has both ability and integrity, and he is decisive in killing. The 100 clans of the Celestial Realm need a human emperor like him. Lin Yuanjun had a very high opinion of Night Sorrow. As soon as Night Sorrow sat down, Aoi and Yang Lei appeared. 13. Did something happen? Looking at Aoi and Yang Lei, Night Sorrow was a little confused. He didn't understand what happened. After the Thunder Rumbling clan sent a letter of apology to the city in the sky, they declared war on the Medicine Valley. Not only the Thunder Rumbling clan, but the Yun dynasty of the Taiching domain also took action. The flames of war are already burning in Danding City, Aoi said. Aoi had just finished explaining what happened when Yun Huang and Lei Bao arrived at Night Sorrow's residence. Captain, I'm sorry. Yun Huang and Lei Bao immediately bowed in front of Night Sorrow. Lei Bao, what happened? Night Sorrow saw that Lei Bao's face was a little sad. Lei Zheng's grandson and the little princess of the Yun dynasty were beaten up by the people of the Medicine Valley. Their foundation was destroyed. Lei Bao exhaled and said, Captain, the little princess of the Yun dynasty, Yun Li, is my cousin's granddaughter. Every time I go back to the clan, she takes me everywhere. Now, she's been bullied beyond recognition. Yun Huang clenched his fists so tightly that cracking sounds could be heard. Why are two problems happening all of a sudden? Who can tell me what happened? Night Sorrow was a little confused because the situation was too serious. Yun Li went to the Thunder Rumbling clan with me as a guest and got together with Yun Zheng's grandson. When the two of them went out to travel, they met the Medicine Valley's training team. When the Medicine Valley's leaders saw Yun Li, he was lustful and had a conflict. Yun Li and Lei Zhongyun were beaten up. Lei Zhongyun is Yun Zheng's grandson, Yun Huang said. Night Sorrow waved his arm and directly shattered the table in the mansion's living room. He was really angry. If it was another force, I would bring you guys to kill them right now. But I can't do it for the Medicine Valley. I really can't. Night Sorrow bowed to Yun Huang and Lei Bao apologetically. He felt very guilty. Captain, we hope that you won't stop them. We also hope that you can say hello to the Taishin Peak. This matter has nothing to do with the Taishin Peak, Lei Bao said. Ninth senior sister, you go and do this. Tell the senior brothers to give me face and not get involved in this matter. Also, tell them that I'm on the brothers' side. Night Sorrow directly expressed his attitude. Thank you, Captain. Yun Huang and Lei Bao bowed to Night Sorrow. Go. If too many people interfere, I will step in and take care of it. Night Sorrow waved his hand. He felt very uncomfortable. Yang Lei left with Lei Bao and Yun Huang. She was on the same side as Night Sorrow. At this moment, Danding City was in a stalemate. The leader of the Yun dynasty was Yun Tianlong and the leader of the Thunder Rumbling sect was Lei Zheng. Lei Zheng's body floated in the air. He closed his eyes and thought about something. He was waiting for news from Lei Bao and Yun Huang because he respected Night Sorrow. He wanted to know what Night Sorrow wanted to do. Lei Didi, we will think of a way to make up for it. Why don't you guys leave first? Xiang Tianding said. The Medicine Valley was led by Chu Lingxiao, Xiang Tianding, and Lin Jing. There was a huge difference in strength. The Medicine Valley was strong, but that was only if the Taishan Peak was included. With the Taishan Peak, the Medicine Valley was the #1 sect in the 9 regions world. Impossible! Lei Jing opened his eyes. Lightning snakes swam in his eyes. He was extremely angry. He was like Night Sorrow. He had high expectations for his children, but he didn't expect them to have great achievements. He only wanted them to live happily. But now, something had happened. Then what do you want? Lin Jingyi looked at Lei Zheng and asked. She often trained in the celestial realm and the chaotic realm. In 1,000 years, she had also reached the heavenly monarch realm. But compared to Yun Zheng, she was much weaker. One of the killers, Lin Xueqing, is your clansman, right? Is this how you teach your clansmen? How dare you violate the precepts of sex? Lei Jing roared at Lin Jingyi. We will hand over the killers. Lin Jingyi said. Where are the killers? We asked for the killers for a few days. Do you think our words are nonsense? Yun Zheng was a little angry. In the city in the sky, Aoi told Gong Xian and the others about Night Sorrow's intentions. He wouldn't interfere. At this time, Yun Huang and Lei Bao arrived at Danding City. Many people had gathered in Danding City. Almost all the people from the 9 regions world's commander-in-chief residence were here. Of course, the highest commander, Night Sorrow, wasn't here. After Yun Huang and Lei Bao arrived, they nodded at Lei Zheng and told him about Night Sorrow's intentions through soul telepathy. Since you don't want to hand them over, then we have no choice. We respect the Realm Lord and the Taishan Peak. We won't attack the Medicine Valley. We won't destroy Danding City either. But your Lin family's power will be gone. Destroy all the properties of the Lin family and the Dai family. Kill anyone who resists. Yun Zheng stared at Lin Jingyi and the others. He then gave the order to attack. He controlled himself. The people who hurt his grandson were the clansmen of the Lin family and the Green Stone Peak Master, Dai Tongtong. Don't regret this. Lin Jingyi's expression changed. Are you trying to scare me? Lei Jing snorted. Chapter 2206. How dare you look for the Realm Master after doing such a thing? Lei Jing waved his hand and sent an energy palm towards Lin Jingyi. He had been unhappy with her for a long time. Lin Jingyi's expression changed drastically. She didn't expect Lei Jing to attack without warning. Moreover, she couldn't withstand the suppression of his domain. She spat out a mouthful of blood and was suppressed. Dai Tongyan was also controlled by Yun Huang's Netherwolf. At this time, Aoi and Gong Xian returned. After thinking about it, Gong Xian felt that it wouldn't be good if he didn't show up as the Valley Master. He had to control the situation. As for who the culprit was and how to deal with it, that was another matter. When they saw Gong Xian, Lei Zheng and Yun Huang nodded at him. They knew that Night Sorrow, Yang Lei, Aoi, and Chu Ning respected Gong Xian a lot. Seeing that Dai Tongyan and the others were about to speak, Gong Xian waved his hand. Emperor Lei, Emperor Yun, I already know what happened. This time, the people of Medicine Valley were in the wrong. We'll deal with it as we should. I just hope that this matter won't escalate too much. Thank you for your understanding, Valley Master. We won't do anything rash. It's just that the Lin and Dai families are too arrogant. They even dare to bully people. The cultivators of the 9 domains world are all virtuous. What have they done? What have their elders done? If the upper beam is not straight, the lower beam will be crooked. They are all responsible, Lei Jing said to Gong Xian. Look at what you've done. You've disgraced Medicine Valley. Can't you be more careful? Can't you be more righteous? Bully people? What right do you have? Based on the reputation of others? Gong Xian said bitterly as he looked at the people of Medicine Valley. Sorry for making things difficult for you, Valley Master. We only want the culprit and their clan leader to give us an explanation. We won't implicate the innocent, Lei Bao said. Thank you, Emperor Lei Bao. Gong Xian looked at Yun Huang. We naturally have to give face to you, Valley Master. It's just that the Medicine Valley is in a mess now. Yun Huang nodded. Inform the troops to retreat. We will capture them ourselves. Lei Bao said to Lei Zheng. With Gong Xian's return and Lei Bao, Lei Zheng and Yun Huang's support, the outcome of the matter was set. Everyone in the Medicine Valley is here, so I will say a few words in front of everyone. I am the Valley Master, and I have the responsibility to take care of the members of the Medicine Valley. However, I have no obligation to cover up your misdeeds. If you are unscrupulous, then you have to deal with the consequences yourself. Gong Xian's expression was very ugly. The troops from the Yun dynasty and the Thunder Rumbling School retreated. Lei Bao, Lei Zheng, Yun Huang and Yun Tianlong left. They wanted to personally go and capture those people. The battle between forces would not be carried out, but justice must be demanded. Lin Jingyi and Dai Tongyan were about to leave and visit their families, but they were stopped by Gong Xian because he had to hold a sect meeting. Looking at Aoi and Yang Lei, as well as the other disciples of Taishan Peak, Lin Jingyi and Dai Tongyan didn't say anything. Dai Tongyan didn't need to say anything. He relied on his seniority to become the peak master of the Blue Stone Peak. As for Lin Jingyi, the #1 master of the Medicine Valley, it was a title that only the disciples of Taishan Peak who went out to gain experience were considered. Now that she dared to disobey Gong Xian's orders, she would be captured immediately. Chu Ning, Tang Tian, Ma Zhuang, Mo Chen, and Guan Yi of the God-slaying team were all kings. The Medicine Valley's meeting was held in the square in front of the main peak. Yu Yongyu and Hua Yunpeng, who were in seclusion, were both present. Last time, because of the bad atmosphere in the Medicine Valley, it caused the Realm Master to be disappointed in the Medicine Valley. This time, because of our bad behavior, others have come to slap us in the face. Don't we want the face of the Medicine Valley? In the past, I didn't say anything because I hoped that everyone would be self-disciplined. We are all from the same sect, so we should save face for each other. But now I have to say it. First of all, there are 2 personnel appointments and removals. Lin Jingyi is removed from the position of elder, and Dai Tongyan is removed from the position of peak master of the Blue Stone Peak. Second, there are punishments for the bad behavior of the people of the Medicine Valley. In the future, we won't wait for others to come to our door. If we make a mistake, the Medicine Valley will kill them ourselves and slap them in the face. Gong Xian issued 2 orders, both of which had a great impact. Lin Jingyi and Dai Tongyan didn't say anything. They also knew that they had made a fool of themselves this time. If they had been honorable, they wouldn't have remained silent after Aoi and Yang Lei appeared. Night Sorrow didn't say anything. Yang Lei and Aoi's words were also effective. The sect will set up a law enforcement team with the authority to supervise the families and forces under the jurisdiction of the Medicine Valley. Gong Xian gave the 3rd order. He was now dealing with the matters of the Medicine Valley heavily. In the past, because of Night Sorrow, there were some things that were really difficult for him to deal with. Now, it was an opportunity for him to deal with the atmosphere of the Medicine Valley heavily. Eldest senior brother, if there's anything, go to the city in the sky and call us. Aoi and Yang Lei cupped their hands towards Yu Yangyu, their senior brother, and junior brother before leaving. The disciples of the Medicine Valley bowed and sent the 2 elders off. They knew that if the 2 elders didn't come, today's matter would definitely be blown up. It would really make the Thunder Rumbling sect and the Yun dynasty angry. At this moment, Night Sorrow arrived at the Yun dynasty. Although Night Sorrow didn't know anyone, others knew him. They brought him to see Yun Li, whose dantian was broken and the tendons in her legs were cut. Realm Lord! Seeing Night Sorrow, Yun Li hurriedly sat up from the bed. Child, you've suffered. As an elder, I didn't do well. But don't worry, there won't be any problems with your injuries. You'll recover very soon. You have to trust me. Night Sorrow helped Yun Li sit up and said, the people that Yun Li trusts the most are the Realm Lord and Grandpa Huang. Yun Li smiled. The Grandpa Huang she was talking about was Yun Huang. Seeing Yun Li's smile, Night Sorrow's heart ached a little. The forces under the Medicine Valley being so rampant was also related to him. Come, I'll bring you to the thunder-rumbling sect and treat your and Lei Zhongyun's injuries together. Knight Sorrow bent down and carried Yunli on his back. Realm Lord, you can't. How can a child be on your back? The Yun family was a little anxious. I'm the Realm Lord, but I'm also a human. Yun Huang and I are brothers. His descendants are my descendants. Knight Sorrow carried Yunli on his back and entered the teleportation array. After arriving at the thunder-rumbling sect and seeing Lei Zhongyun, Knight Sorrow comforted the two children and began to refine pills. 4 ordinary cultivators, having their dantian shattered meant that their foundation was destroyed. But for Knight Sorrow, it wasn't a big problem. After 2 hours, he finished refining the pills. Then, using the life force of the world's origin, he helped the two children repair their dantian and tendons. After Knight Sorrow finished treating the two children's injuries, Yun Huang, Lei Bao, and Lei Jing arrived. Thank you, Captain. The 3 of them bowed to Knight Sorrow. You don't have to be so polite with me. I'm heartbroken that something like this happened. Naturally, I'll do what I can for the children. Knight Sorrow reached out and patted Yunli and Lei Zhongyun's shoulders. /M. The matter is settled. The main culprit and the leaders of the 2 families have been killed. It's been a few days. As the leaders of the families, they're too much. Lei Bao said. It's good that it's settled. Perhaps after experiencing some things, the Medicine Valley can return to its original path. Knight Sorrow sighed. Chapter 2207. I won't see her. Deal with the aftermath yourself. She should understand that she took the wrong path. Under her protection, her family also took the wrong path. There's only so much affection between people. It can't be squandered. I've always wanted the best for her, but she really doesn't cherish it, said Knight Sorrow. At this time, Lin Jingyi had indeed arrived in front of the heaven-sealing Great Hall. She shouted at the heaven-sealing Great Hall, but Knight Sorrow ignored her. He didn't want to hide from Lin Jingyi. He just felt that there were some things that Lin Jingyi had to figure out herself. It was useless to say anything. As for how Medicine Valley punished Lin Jingyi, he didn't care. Looking at the heaven-sealing Great Hall, Lin Jingyi sighed. She knew that Knight Sorrow was there. Even if he wasn't, Knight Sorrow would know that she wanted to see him because he was connected to the world's origin. If he didn't appear now, it meant that he didn't want to see her. Lin Jingyi returned to Crepe Myrtle. Her position as an elder had been stripped, but she was still a disciple of Crepe Myrtle. In Crepe Myrtle's Great Hall, Lin Jingyi saw Yi Xiling and Tang Chanqian. Jingyi, what's wrong with you? Yi Xiling's eyes were full of disappointment. After last time, I made a request to my family, but they didn't take it to heart. As a result, today's incident happened. I also know that I have to bear the responsibility, said Lin Jingyi. It's good that you understand. Don't regret it only after your reputation is ruined. That would be meaningless. Don't disappoint me again. Yi Xiling sighed and left. She felt very embarrassed today. Lin Jingyi smiled bitterly. She knew that her reputation was ruined. Gong Xian didn't expel her from Medicine Valley because of the relationship between Knight Sorrow and her. He left her a fig leaf. Seeing that Lei Zhongyun and Yun Li's conditions were stable and that there was no problem for them to recover, Knight Sorrow left and returned to the commander's residence. The commander's manor was no longer in the Grand Clarity region. It was in 9 Region City. Knight Sorrow hadn't visited the commander's manor for a long time. Now that he was here, Xielan Jun, who was in charge of handling matters in the commander's manor, notified the others. Everyone knows about what happened in the Eastern Xian domain. This also shows that the strengthening of humanity and morality is not enough. Well, it can't be said that it's not enough. It's inevitable that cultivators will be of different levels, but this kind of thing has to be dealt with. Lord Lin Ke, arrange for Tianjin Tower to monitor the situation in this area. Those who bully men and rape women will be killed without any misgivings or consideration of their background. Knight Sorrow said as he looked at Tianjin Tower Lord Lin Daoyuan. Lin Daoyuan and Xielan Jun nodded. Tianjin Tower had been strict with itself all these years. The development of the members under their command was on the path of elites. The results were great, and they had won Knight Sorrow's trust. Also, the commander's manor's support for some emerging forces will continue. This is because the 9 regions world will accommodate more cultivators in the future, and the competition will be fierce. Knight Sorrow looked at the members of the commander's manor and said, after everything was done, Knight Sorrow returned to Sky City. Yang Lei and Oi were back, and so were Yu Yangyu and Gong Xian. Master, Elder's senior brother is here. Don't blame me for what happened today. I really don't have the face to interfere, Knight Sorrow said. 13. Everyone knows what kind of person you are. They only have themselves to blame. No one will blame you. Don't think too much about it, Yu Yangyu said. Gong Xian also tried to persuade Knight Sorrow. He knew that Knight Sorrow was in the most difficult position in this matter. On one side was a brother who had gone through life and death with him, and on the other side was the sect where he came from. Neither was easy to deal with. After learning about Gong Xian's arrangement, Knight Sorrow nodded. He knew that Gong Xian, who had not been very involved in the affairs of the Medicine Valley, was now going to deal with it heavily. Lin Jingyi was the strongest cultivator in the Medicine Valley, except for the Taishan Peak. Even if he had to deal with her, it showed his attitude. I've always wanted to develop the Taishan Peak well, but in fact, there are some things that can't be avoided. The Medicine Valley's reputation is the Taishan Peak's reputation. No one will feel comfortable if the Medicine Valley's reputation is lost. Since this is the case, we have to deal with it ruthlessly, Gong Xian said. Let's use both the carrot and the stick. Knight Sorrow, if you have nothing to do, you should go back and take a look at the Medicine Valley. It's best if the Medicine Valley doesn't go downhill, Yu Yangyu said to Knight Sorrow after thinking for a while. Knight Sorrow nodded. In his heart, he also didn't want the Medicine Valley to go downhill. I heard from 9th junior sister that Lin Jingyi went to the Heaven Ceiling Great Hall to look for you. Did she complain? Gong Xian asked with a smile. I don't know. I didn't see her. There's no need to. The truth is there. I don't want to hear what she has to say. It's meaningless. Knight Sorrow shook his head. We left. The peak masters and elders of the Medicine Valley are still in a meeting. They have already changed their minds. This incident also caught everyone off guard. They can also see that other than Taishan Peak, the other peaks of the Medicine Valley together can't withstand the attack of an emperor-level force, Yu Yangyu said. At this time, in the Great Hall of the Medicine Valley, other than Dai Tongyan, the other peak masters and elders were indeed in a meeting. Junior Sister Yi, today's facts have made us see clearly. Without Knight Sorrow's support and without Taishan Peak's support, the Medicine Valley doesn't have any strength. If any emperor-level force came to crush us, we wouldn't be able to withstand it. It's better for us to be down to earth in our development. At the very least, we have to stand on our moral ground, Yan Beiji said. The North Pole Peak had a rank 9 emperor-level cultivator. Qin Zhen was one of them. However, he couldn't step in when the Medicine Valley had a conflict with Lei Bao, Lei Jing, and Yun Huang. Moreover, Lei Bao and the other two only declared war on the forces that made a big mistake. They didn't attack the Medicine Valley. In the past, Lei Bao, Lei Jing, Nen Liyue, and the others made their forces endure for the sake of friendship. Qin Zhen naturally couldn't ignore friendship. That's right. Bullying has happened. Who can stand out and support the Medicine Valley? No one can. It's good enough that the other forces didn't gang up on us. We have to correct our position and think. Today's incident was really embarrassing. We're ashamed to be on their side. Duan Lei also expressed his opinion. I apologize for today's incident. It's my fault, Yi Xiling stood up and said. Junior Sister Yi, please sit down first. We've known each other for more than 1,000 years. We know what kind of person you are. However, you've been a disciple of Crepe Myrtle. What happened during this period of time? If we don't change, the Medicine Valley might collapse. Who would be willing to be on the same side as the black sheep? Taishan Peak despises us now, Yan Beibei said with a bitter smile. It's not that we despise you. If we despise you, I wouldn't have come as an elder of Taishan Peak. In your words, we've done something wrong. Who can be so shameless as to cover up the shame? Tai Tsong, an elder of Taishan Peak and the junior brother of Yu Yangyu, said. It's imperative to clean up the forces under each peak. We have to go back to the way it was before. We have to return to the path of the Medicine Valley. The Medicine Valley is our Medicine Valley. It's where all of our glory lies, Xueqi said. Chapter 2208. Night Sorrow told Huang Ling about the holy nature of the World Tree. He also said that the selected people had to be chaste. Hearing this, Huang Ling was stunned. There's such a requirement? I don't know about this either. Go and ask now. Don't waste your time. Watching Huang Ling leave, Night Sorrow also knew that this request had come too suddenly. Cultivators had 7 emotions and 6 desires. Some people cultivated the heartless Tao, but very few. Most people had feelings in their hearts. They would have Tao companions and would get married to have descendants. An hour later, Huang Ling and the Heavenly Astral King arrived at Night Sorrow's residence. Huang Ling looked a little embarrassed. Young City Lord, I've embarrassed myself this time. Other than Fei, the others can't do it. This group of people is not tight. They really don't live up to expectations. Huang Ling was a little embarrassed because the selected people did not give her any face. It's okay. Just let nature take its course. Night Sorrow smiled. This was within his expectations. It was good that they were not completely wiped out. You're still in the mood to smile? There's only one left. Huang Ling was very shocked. E positive R version hashtag first eye hair. Actually, the one who succeeds is often the only one. Night Sorrow poured a cup of tea for Huang Ling. The Heavenly Astral King patted Huang Ling's shoulder. Young City Lord is right. One is enough. More are just decorations. You too. He said it's okay and you also said it's okay. Huang Ling rolled her eyes at the Heavenly Astral King. The Heavenly Astral King smiled. Night Sorrow, don't mind. Women are all like this. Night Sorrow smiled. He knew that this was a sign of a good relationship between husband and wife. After chatting for a while, the Heavenly Astral King and Huang Ling left. After leaving Night Sorrow's residence, Huang Ling said, "Fortunately, did well. If she didn't have chastity and the selected people were all wiped out, the two of us would really lose face." The Heavenly Astral King nodded. He naturally understood that if the selected people were not good, they would have wasted 30 years. They would not be able to explain this to the Heavenly Desolate City Lord. Night Sorrow brewed a pot of tea for himself. He was mentally prepared that the members chosen by the Ice Phoenix race would encounter problems. What are you thinking about? Aoi sat beside Night Sorrow. Nothing much. Did Master and eldest senior brother go back? If you don't go back, then try to persuade them to stay in Sky City for a few more days. Night Sorrow asked. Aoi shook her head. They all went back. Eldest senior brother's attitude has changed. He wants to deal with the Medicine Valley with a heavy blow. Master naturally has to support him, so they all went back together. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that some things were inevitable. In the past, Gong Xian had an attitude of letting go, but now it was time for him to act. 13. I don't like Lin Jingyi. Some of her mistakes in the past can be explained by the fact that her relationship was not smooth and she was young. However, there are some things that she has no bottom line for. If she was serious about managing the family, such things would not have happened. The Lin family, a second-rate family, is so arrogant because of her support. Don't see her in the future. Aoi looked at Night Sorrow and said, "If 6th senior sister says she won't see me, then I won't see her. I will listen to 6th senior sister. She probably won't see me in the future." Night Sorrow smiled. If one asked who Night Sorrow listened to the most among his wives, it would be Aoi. Aoi rarely asked Night Sorrow for anything. Everyone thought that Aoi knew right from wrong and understood the big picture. If the Medicine Valley has really changed, we can still go back more often. I like the Bamboo Forest Pavilion and the Bamboo Forest Peak. Visit. Night Sorrow nodded. All right, I will go back with you when I have time. Don't take this matter to heart. Lei Bao, Lei Zheng and Yun Huang were forced into a corner. If it was me, I wouldn't have let this matter go so easily. They have already restrained themselves. Night Sorrow knew that Aoi was a sensitive woman who valued relationships. I know. Why would I blame them? The Thunder Rumbling clan was suppressed so badly by the Medicine Valley in the past, and they endured it. This time, they really went overboard. Sixth senior sister, you understand. Aoi smiled. She knew that Night Sorrow was being considerate towards her and was afraid that she would have a knot in her heart. After that, Aoi told Night Sorrow about Yi Qingyan and Zhani. She told him about the development of their relationship. She wanted Night Sorrow, as a father, to care more about her. Sixth senior sister, I have known about this for a long time and have also noticed it. Zhan Yi has a good heart and is open-minded and kind. All these years, I have been teaching him like a child. Night Sorrow smiled. You didn't tell me anything and made me worried. Aoi glanced at Night Sorrow. Children and grandchildren have their own lives. Zhan Yi is eldest senior brother's child. It's good that we know his background. We don't have to care about their matters. Night Sorrow poured a cup of tea for Aoi and said, I am relieved that you know what to do. Here are some robes. Aoi took out a few battle robes and handed them to Night Sorrow. If you want to marry a wife, you have to find someone who loves you. Zhani might not be so lucky. Your daughter is not like you in this aspect. Night Sorrow said after keeping the robes. That's not right. Women change. Once they find their other half, their thoughts will change. The most important thing is whether they love him enough. Yang Lei walked over with a pair of battle boots in her hands. Yes, look at your ninth senior sister. She used to have a big personality, but now she knows how to care for you. Aoi laughed. This is my fortune. Others can't be envious. Night Sorrow felt warm in his heart. His family was harmonious, his wife was virtuous, and his son was filial. This was what he was most grateful for. Yes, if one isn't enough, you can marry two. If two isn't enough, you can marry three. How can you not be blessed? Yang Lei sat down and looked at Night Sorrow with disdain. Night Sorrow didn't know how to reply. He felt a little awkward. You don't know, right? Father gave the order to the children. The boys can only marry one. Before the girls get married, they have to make an important request. They can only marry one wife. Otherwise, there's no room for discussion. The Yi family girls can't marry. Mother also supports this point. Aoi laughed. Yes. I didn't do this well. I don't have the face to say this to the children. The parents made a good request. Night Sorrow rubbed his face. He had always been strict with himself, but when it came to marriage he really didn't do it well. Seeing Night Sorrow's embarrassment, Aoi and Yang Lei both laughed. This was because only they could see Night Sorrow like this. There's one more thing I didn't tell you. We threw Ling Shi into the celestial realm. We told him not to return home until he made a few friends and brought a few close friends home. Yang Lei said, That works. That's right. Ling Shi can't always play by himself. This is a good idea. After being stunned for a moment, Night Sorrow felt that this was a good idea. We discussed it together. We asked him not to reveal his identity. This way, he can have true friends and true love. Aoi said, Chapter 2209. Aoi and Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow with disdain. However, they couldn't refute him because the children of the Yi clan were indeed outstanding. This was publicly acknowledged in the 9 regions world. Most importantly, they were virtuous and had inherited the Yi clan style. The children's talent is one thing. The main thing is that they were brought up well. Of course, the children were taught by you. It's all thanks to you, Night Sorrow said. These were his heartfelt words. He had always been fighting outside and didn't really care about his family and children. You didn't interact much with the children and didn't teach them verbally. However, no one taught them better than you. You are a role model in front of them. They are also strict with themselves. Aoi nodded. She knew that Night Sorrow didn't spend much time with the children. However, he was definitely a qualified father. After chatting for a while, I'm really happy. Let's go to the restaurant and have a good meal, Night Sorrow said as he stood up. Aoi and Yang Lei were also very happy. Night Sorrow's current state was very rare. Night Sorrow accompanied his wife to the restaurant in the Immortals' capital to eat. Unexpectedly, Night Sorrow met Yi Xiaoluo. Yi Xiaoluo was also drinking in the restaurant with his friends. Yi Xiaoluo wanted to greet them, but Night Sorrow and the other two turned their heads and pretended not to see them. Where were we? Yi Xiaoluo looked at his friends at the same table when he saw that his father and aunt didn't want to see him. You said 1 against 3. Continue. Let's see where you can go. A woman said. I'm serious. I'm not lying. Yi Xiaoluo pouted. 1 against 3? Forget it. It's not that interesting. His Majesty the Human Emperor defeated 5 Imperial Emperors on the Nirvana Ocean Bridge with his Emperor Realm cultivation. We'll talk about it when you can defeat 5 Imperial Emperors. Next topic. Come, let me moisten your throat first. The woman poured a cup of wine for Yi Xiaoluo. Lu Yu, it's boring for you to chat like this. I'm in high spirits. Do you think I'm bragging? Yi Xiaoluo said unhappily. Everyone at the table was laughing and asking Yi Xiaoluo to continue. Night Sorrow smiled at Yang Lei and Aoi. I can see that this guy is not like me, but he's living a happy life. Very good, a bunch of high-spirited kids together, this is life, Aoi said with a smile. Little guy? Any one of them is older than us, Yang Lei muttered. The truth was just as Yang Lei had said. Those who came out to train in the celestial realm and were at the same cultivation level as Yi Xiaoluo were not young. Night Sorrow's father could not even compare to them. After all, it was rare for a genius to have such achievements at such a young age. Xiaoluo, you are a cultivator from the Primal Chaos region. It is said that the human emperor used to be from the Primal Chaos region. Have you seen him before? Lu Yu, the woman sitting beside Yi Xiaoluo, asked. Yes, it's very common. Yi Xiaoluo nodded seriously. TSK? Shoo. Everyone at the table was mocking him. Although they were mocking him, there was no disdain in their eyes. They were all joking. A bunch of bastards. How am I supposed to play? How am I supposed to drink this wine? Yi Xiaoluo slapped his forehead. He was telling the truth, but no one believed him. Aoi and Yang Lei wanted to laugh. They were really happy to see Yi Xiaoluo like this. Xiaoluo, lower your voice. Look at how quiet and civilized their table is. Pay attention to your manners. Lu Yu tugged at Yi Xiaoluo's sleeve. My voice is a bit loud, but you can't say that I have no manners. It doesn't sound nice. Yi Xiaoluo lowered his voice. He felt embarrassed that he was being called uncivilized in front of his father and aunt. No one else would do that except him. 6. Look at the original chapter. Night Sorrow, Aoi, and Yang Lei casually drank 2 cups of wine and had some food before leaving. Before leaving, Night Sorrow called for a waiter. Pay for that table too. That's not good. How can we do that? We have disturbed the 3 of you. Lu Yu stood up and said, It's nothing. It was fun listening to you guys chat. If there's a chance, you guys can treat us to a meal. This is good karma. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded at Yi Xiaoluo. Young people are not bad. You are high-spirited. That's how it should be. After Night Sorrow and the other 2 left, Yi Xiaoluo and the others sat down. Those 3 are not simple. A man said. His name was Jingyu. He was the oldest person at the table and also the one with the highest cultivation. He was an emperor. His aura is extraordinary. That man's smile is like a spring breeze. It can penetrate the bottom of one's heart. Although his eyes are calm, they can see through everything. Lu Yu said. The 2 women are emperors. The man is even more unfathomable. He looks like an ordinary person. Can he be an ordinary person? Obviously not. Then there is another possibility. He is at least an emperor. Jingyu said. There are only so many emperors in the celestial realm. Which one is it? Lu Yu muttered. If I say I know, you guys won't believe me. Yi Xiaoluo said. Then don't say it. 8 out of 10 sentences are unreliable. Fortunately, he is reliable. Otherwise. Lu Yu looked at Yi Xiaoluo with disdain. In the eyes of the group, Yi Xiaoluo was righteous and sincere to his friends. However, they did not listen to him. Yi Xiaoluo sighed in his heart. He really knew, but no one would believe him. There were some things he did not want to say. He did not want their friendship to become impure. The group of them did not care about family background. They only cared about personal relationships. We are done eating and drinking. We have to continue. We still have to dig out more spies from the demon wing race. In addition, I plan to join the Heaven Wasteland Army. I don't know what you guys think. We will have fewer chances to meet in the future. Jingyu said. I have to consider this. I have to ask the elders. Yi Xiaoluo said softly. I have to ask the elders too. Lu Yu looked at Jingyu and Yi Xiaoluo and said, Don't worry. We have communication crystals. We can meet at any time. Even if we are separated, we can send a message if anything happens. Brothers, friends, this is for life. Another man said. His name was Langley. He was the first to know Yi Xiaoluo. How do you feel seeing your son like this? After leaving the restaurant, Yang Lei laughed and asked. Interesting. It's good. Night Sorrow also laughed. He felt that this was real life. Lingxi will be like this in the future. Aoi said. She knew that Night Sorrow was most worried about Yi Lingxi. As for Yi Xiaoqi, he was just a little tyrant. He lived in the ethereal empire. That was his mother's territory. Night Sorrow, Aoi, and Yang Lei only went to the divine capital for a drink before returning to the Heaven Wasteland City. His cultivation realm and combat skills had reached a bottleneck. Night Sorrow's life was quiet. On Night Sorrow's day, he met Pu Luo. Alliance Master, Lu Qi has successfully entered the tribulation of the Six Emperors. He wants to celebrate. Shall we go to his Lu family manor later? Pu Luo brought news of Lu Qi. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.